warranty with no time or mileage limits. When our customers leave, they say, "That was a great experience." And that's where we're most different. That's Friendship Jeep Dodge Ram, and we're located in Forest City.
You'll find the deals this week at Teddy's Emporium Outlet at Eastridge Mall in Gastonia. You'll find a great selection of jewelry, including rings, bracelets, necklaces, and more. Plus, a new selection of makeup arrives just about every day. Teddy's Emporium Outlet has name brand cleaners like Febreze and Mr. Clean, plus perfume and cologne gift sets, and plush teddy bears too. That's Teddy's Emporium Outlet on North New Hope Road in Eastridge Mall. Like them on Facebook too.
Tee it up in the shadows of beautiful Crowder's Mountain at Crowder's Mountain Golf Course. Play and ride 18 Monday through Friday for $28 and $25 after 2 p.m. On weekends and holidays, play and ride for $38 and $33 after 2 p.m. Monday is Ladies' Day. Ladies play and ride for $18, and seniors play and ride Monday through Friday for $25. For your tee time, call 704-734-0383 for Crowder's Mountain Golf Course.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price. With names like The Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General, and Travelers. Drop by the office today at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
If you're in the market for new flooring, go to this area's most recommended flooring store. That's Flooring America on Slater Street in Kings Mountain. Flooring America in Kings Mountain is where friends send friends for their flooring needs. And right now, you'll find the ever-popular luxury vinyl plank for only $2.99 a square foot. That's right, only $2.99 a square foot, all during the Fresh Start Flooring Sale. Give your home a refresh with one stop at Flooring America, 602 Slater Street in Kings Mountain, online at flooringamericakingsmountain.com.
If bowling's your game, head to George Pappas Liberty Lanes in Gastonia. At Liberty Lanes in Gastonia, you'll find 32 lanes, 16 with bumpers for small children. Liberty Lanes is a smoke-free facility with a full snack bar and game room with pool tables, plus a pro shop too, providing bowlers of all skill levels with a fun-filled environment for both league and open bowling. That's George Pappas Liberty Lanes, Highway 321 South, Gastonia.
The game plays right here.
Are you ready for some football?
Yeah! Your sports leader, WOHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, and WCSL Cherryville Gastonia.
Hello, this is Milton Baker inviting you to listen to NASCAR Racing right here on WCSL 1590 AM, 92.3 FM, and KTCBroadcasting.com.
Don't see too many like me, cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you, cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets, come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
Welcome to another Morning Sports Talk with Kevin Hastings, Hunter Yancey, Tom Stefani, and Terry Reinhardt. And Tom, you want to talk about Chrysler?
I always want to talk about Chrysler.
Oh, there we
Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, 190 Oak Street Extension in Forest City, North Carolina. 828-919-3001 is their telephone number. And Friendship Nissan, 156 Oak Street Extension in Forest City, North Carolina. 828-245-1661. Tax time, guys. That tax rebate comes back in. Stimulus checks about to pass the Senate. Take those stimulus checks, take that tax refund, take it to Friendship, get yourself a new ride for 2021.
I think Tom's got a new job in retirement.
What's that?
Car salesman.
Car salesman.
Like you knew everything about the tax stuff. You was ready to rock. You could speak,
telling you. You need to get it. If I wasn't,
that's a great. Is for Tom. Is for the car dealers, find a retired teacher that knows the tax history.
That's right. That's right. Know the tax system. Aren't you getting your taxes back? Hey, look, that makes a great down payment on a new vehicle from Friendship. You can get yourself a Sharp Gladiator or get you a Nissan Rogue. Got lots of cool stuff down there. My brother and his girlfriend are proud customers of Friendship.
Yep.
So they have both bought vehicles there. So go on down to Friendship, get yourself a new vehicle. Even you, Terry, go down there and get you a new vehicle.
Tom, I'm working.
Well, judging by that shirt, you probably couldn't afford much more than a Ford Pinto. So
That's it. You got it.
Couldn't even bring in a KTC shirt. Damn, Terry, you look like you just came off the lawnmower.
Yeah.
Terry,
got holes and rips in it.
I'm dragging it today. He's got to go cut grass.
Hey, God.
Terry, it looks like a cat got a hold of it multiple
did.
times.
It was like a cat got a hold of it.
Umpire not paying enough these days.
That's it. That's it.
It raised a little bit.
Not being able to ref basketball took me out.
Oh, God. Well, we've got most of the scores. There's one we still haven't got. They may be playing today, Terry. I don't know, Drone and Patton. But I'll let, I did this all last night. And, Hunter likes Tom's interview skills. So, Hunter, you're in charge of reading scores today with your enunciation skills. How about that?
Maybe. All right. Pine Lake Prep 48, Cherryville 7. I was on WCSL. On WOHS, Burns 14, Chase 0. On our WLON channel, East Lincoln with a whopping 41, Lincolnton with a whopping 0. On WAGY, East Rutherford 14, Polk County 49. Shelby defeats RS Central 38-22. South Point 44-6 over East Gaston. Union Academy loses to Bessemer City 18-6. We know somebody is mad about that pick. East Rowan 6, Thomas Jefferson 21. Bishop McGinnis only scored 6 against the Community School of Davidson. Community School of Davidson 35. Looks like Ashbrook and Forest View will be today at 2 p.m.
Now, that game will be played. No, that's at Kramer today is where that game will be played.
So it will be
What,
played
had
at
somebody's
Stewart
field
Kramer,
get messed up? Had to.
I have no idea the reason that I've found yet, other than
Doesn't
they're
Stewart
playing at
Kramer
Stewart Kramer.
have
Stewart Kramer's got
turf.
AstroTurf.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought.
So I don't know. It may be, Tom. I know both of those schools and a couple of those schools aren't they pretty good at soccer too? So you may be double using fields.
Right.
So that may be the option. It probably is better to play the football on the AstroTurf, I'd imagine, than the soccer. Y'all don't tear it up as much. I would imagine not getting tackled constantly like the football players do. I'm sure you do clean it up pretty good though. I don't know. Kings Mountain and North Gaston, they did switch to. I think that Dennis said, I'm not 100% confirmed. I'm going to check the Twitter here in a minute, that they are going to play at Kings Mountain Tuesday instead. And then Kings Mountain's got 2 games next week. Their game they're supposed to play Friday, I think, is moving to Saturday. So we'll get all that updated in a little bit. Go ahead, Hunter, for the rest of them.
Crest 55 over Stewart Kramer, who had 24. Mountain Island Charter scores 48, holding Christ the King to nothing. Newton Conover 32, Bandy's 14. Great start over there. Bandy's new head coach 0-2. Losses to both rivals. Oof. Community's kind of looking sideways, aren't they? Maiden 21, West Lincoln 20. Nail biter over there, Terry. Real close.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes you got to finish games, and that's what you got to learn now.
North Lincoln 34 to West Mecklenburg 0. Bunker Hill 32, Fred T. Ford 7. Freedom 28, Hickory 16. McDowell 21-18 over St. Stephen's. East Burke 43, West Iredale 6. Statesville 27, South Caldwell 18, High Brighton 62, West Caldwell 6, and Watauga 21, Alexander Central 7.
Hunter and us had the week off this week. We're going to get into all that and more in just a little bit on our high school segment.
I wanted to say one thing.
Well, I was going to say talk about my breakfast, Terry. What you want to talk about?
One thing, and then we'll go on. McDowell's 2-0 on the year. Most of the time, we see them on 0-2.
Yeah, Dennis was excited about that last night.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
2-0.
And so there's some interesting things. How about that Crest game? Hunter at 55-24. It was tied at 24 at one point.
Crest decided to put their foot down.
They only went on a 31-0 run.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to talk more about that in a little bit. We've got Carolina and Duke today, Hunter. You excited?
6 o'clock, yes, sir.
What for?
I'm sorry, Terry. Talk when you're in the tournament.
It does not mean anything right now.
Terry,
actually, it means everything.
Terry, who's your favorite in that today? Who are you pulling for, Terry?
Really, to tell you the truth,
for the power to go out?
No, to tell you the truth, I hope. Yeah, I know. This is what's bad. I hope Carolina wins.
Oh.
I agree.
For state. I mean, because, it's a jump for state. State can jump right on over.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention.
If Duke would win, maybe it's better for state if that would happen for the bracket they'll be in. So, I don't know here.
Okay, well, we're going to talk that and more also in just a little bit. A little bit of Tiger Woods stuff. How about some Major League Baseball getting warmed up? Spring training games are ready.
That's right. We played with the Dodgers yesterday. They beat us, but we played with them.
They allowed you on the field, Terry?
Yeah, 7-5.
Well, that's close. It's not bad.
At least you scored 5.
Yeah, we're 4-2.
There you go.
On this preseason.
Is this the year?
Is anybody going to knock the Dodgers out, Terry?
Padres.
Padres have an opportunity.
Padres.
Nah, they just stayed there.
That pitching rotation is not deep enough at San Diego.
Their pitching's pretty good right now. They picking up.
I don't know, Tom. If I'm playing shortstop and I just got paid $300 million, I might not dive on a few balls this year.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Might not dive for a few balls on defense.
You cut him short. It's $400 million.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. If I got paid 40% of $1 billion, I might not die for a bouncer up the middle this year.
Yeah. I'll think about it.
I'm not going airborne for it, at least.
I'll think about it. Listen, kids. If that means anything, it means pick up a baseball bat and start swinging as a child. Because guess what? You can only play 1 year in the majors, and you might get a $400 million contract.
It's the most insane thing. It took Pujols being the greatest hitter ever for the first 10 years of Major League Baseball history to get that same deal, basically, or even less than that. And he hasn't even played, Terry, 149 games is how much Tatis has played.
Yeah, I know. Think of that, y'all.
Not even a complete season. And he got $400
And they talk about him like he's the second coming.
He's good, but
hey, he's good. I give him credit. He's good.
But
but I don't know whether you give that to him now. But now, they gave it to him for how many years?
On at 14.
That's what I'm saying. It's 14 years. So
he said
he kind of reminds me of the guy from Atlanta who signed a 10-year contract.
When we signed Acuna?
Yeah.
People don't realize we signed Acuna only for $100 million.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying.
Now, play style wise, he's got his swagger. They're similar.
Yeah, but he thought about his family. I will give him credit. He thought about his family in the long term of why he went ahead and signed.
It's just so funny.
Maybe he should have waited until he saw.
I just don't see where that owner looked at him and said, "Man, after 1 year, I need to give him this much money."
Not after 149 games,
right?
Like play a whole year.
That's it.
Well, now think of it on the other side. Just like Kevin and I was saying, my finger hurts today. I don't need the bat. I need for it to grow back out.
Yeah, so, I got a cuticle today, Tommy.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just going to stay out.
Game 112 of my $400 million deal is I got a cuticle today, boys.
Sorry, I'm still getting this much guaranteed money, though, so I'll think about it today.
I'm going to go sit down in the bullpen with the guys and watch the fans in the cheap seats and talk to them and stuff.
A lot of money being paid to these guys. I'll say
if
that.
you know what I'm saying. A lot of money. Let's see. Also, I did say golf. NASCAR. Vegas. Terry's man caused a lot of commotion last night. We're going to get to that. Terry, you have any comment yet on that? Do you know what happened?
No.
Nope.
No.
Is that all you're saying?
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. He answered the question, Tom. Just know that. Nope is the word of the day from the Bush racing team. And we're going to get to the shenanigans of what's going on in that. We've got, like I said, Vegas, and of course on KTC we've got racing this weekend. JP, pull up your schedule, get ready. I need you to read it. And then today, we're going to try to talk to Coach Bowles in here a little bit if he can get a minute. He's getting ready for his first home game, y'all. 12 o'clock today. Get up to, they're having fans. I think it's $5 to get in. Get up to Al Stadium, McNair Field up in Forest City today. The Yetis are hosting their first home game against Patrick Henry Community College. Doubleheader, noon, 9-inning game the first game, 7-inning the second, and then tomorrow they'll play at 1 o'clock. No, tomorrow they'll play at noon too, I think. I got to check those. Let me redo this. Let me recheck the schedule just to
Tomorrow
make sure
they will be playing at 12 o'clock.
Okay, tomorrow they're 12 o'clock too. I've got mine too, my schedule too, but there was something changed because of the conferences. I want to confirm it in just a minute. We're going to broadcast that, folks, live on YouTube. That'll be on the WOHS channel, the Shelby YouTube channel, not the KTC broadcasting that you're watching on now. If you're listening to radio, folks, you can watch us on YouTube every Saturday. They're 5-6 right now, guys. One of the writers, whatever, picked them to win 0 games this year. Another one picked them to win 2. So Gene's in the gang's already pumped up about that. Me and Andre went out and practiced yesterday and watched him hit some, about died twice because nobody yells. We was down on bullpen area taking pictures and videos for getting ready for the starting lineups. And we got a couple heads up, but we're surrounded by guys with baseball gloves. One of them could have stepped up and grabbed it, knocked one down. We had 2 whiz by our heads. Andre's like, I'm done. he moved down the line. They had the cage out, but it wasn't keeping it where we was. But yeah, we had fun. The guys yesterday. Hunter, the best answer I had. I'm gonna put a blooper reel. We'll have it for next week. I was approved that I could do it. One of the best questions that we had of the week was, should I say my last name? Introducing themselves for the lineup. That was his question. No, just say I'm Steve. I'm the left fielder.
Hey, I'm Tim.
I'm Joe Bob.
It wasn't Gene, but the other coach. He just looked at me and said, I'm so sorry. He goes, we have a few.
Well, one thing I'd like to ask Gene, and I've often wondered this my whole life, is when a ball is hit foul and people go, heads up, why would you want to get hit in the face? I mean, I don't understand
you think
any of that.
they need to be saying heads down?
Well, they need to be watch your heads or something. It shouldn't be heads up.
Oh, gosh. 4?
I mean,
you don't look up when people yell 4, Terry. Why don't we say 4 in baseball, too?
Unreal. But anyway.
Terry, man, those are the hidden wonders of the world. Thank God Almighty.
That's what everybody's riding down the road. They're wondering about today.
I mean, why would you?
You've just implanted that into some people's minds today for the rest of the day that are listening to us. They're like, why do they say heads up, huh?
There is an unspoken rule in the course. If don't say 4, if you're scared that if you do and they scramble, they're going to run into the ball. Like, if you can follow the flight path and they're not moving, sometimes you don't say nothing until like the last second so they do hear you. Because if you do say it, it's early and that ball ain't, and it moves, they just might run into it. I was riding a guy in a cart, got hit, the driver next to me. All I heard was, ugh! I was like, are you okay? And he just didn't say nothing. And he looked at me. The cart got real slow and he stopped. And he just looked at me still in silence. I was like, are you okay? He goes, golf ball inside. You couldn't hear the guys hitting it because it was a gas cart. So, sometimes it does, sometimes not. I don't know, Terry. That's a fantastic question. You should. I tell you what, you're going to be at the ballpark a lot. Take a survey. Yeah. What do you want us to yell at your local baseball field when there's a ball over there? What's your suggestion?
Well, I usually don't. Well, I got.
JP might have an answer. JP, ball coming in your way. Do you want us to yell heads up so you turn around and get hit in the face, or do you gotta? Should we say something else?
Duck.
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 Just everybody yell duck.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You
so
say
you
that
hit
over
in the back.
Well, you say that over at West Lincoln, Terry.
That'd
Somebody might
probably be
pull a
bad.
shotgun out and
Yeah,
shoot in
that's
there.
true.
They might shoot the ball out of the way.
Or in Louisiana. All right, I don't know. Let's see what else we got today, Hunter. We got NBA action, All Stars coming up, right?
This is the All-Star week. Isn't that this weekend?
I think so.
I think it is. Because they
All-Star.
did the draft
Yeah.
for their teams, which I still hate.
I don't even like it.
No, it's awful. I don't like it without separate conferences and teams. But they did pick. Now, LeBron and them picked, his team. He picked to the 2 Jazz players last, and his comment was, "We wouldn't even pick them on the video games."
Mm-hmm.
So, little trash talking here, ready for the playoffs coming up in a month or so, Hunter. And what do you think about that?
I mean,
Big
it's not
shots
wrong.
to be firing at the number 1 seed.
He's not wrong though.
Why is he not wrong?
When you sit there and just talk about the NBA in general,
Utah just beat the living tar out of them the other day.
I think he needs to be careful, or they do with Utah.
No. Let him continue to
I know.
talk.
I like it.
I like it. Let him continue to talk because if
who
he
get-
gets popped in the mouth, then maybe he'll stop talking.
Let's see if Tom has this answer. Tom, when he was in Cleveland, they had a lot of trouble with a certain big man. You remember who I'm talking about? Really big, 7'3", didn't do nothing, stand in the lane in the playoffs. Roy Hibbert.
That's been a while, yeah.
So with really big dudes in the lane, that's always been LeBron's thing. Is like, he likes going off glass, taking it, bullying ball. You got that big man in the lane that can block shots. That's his Achilles heel on that move. So I don't know if he needs to be poking the Utah Jazz bear terrier and firing them up. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to be like Hunter. Let him go ahead because I don't understand why you would say stuff like that. I mean, I guess you thinking Anthony Davis will be back at the end of the year and we're going to be fine. But the other day when they did not have Anthony Davis, and now we're always finding out how the Lakers are. With Anthony Davis there, they're pretty good. Even without LeBron, they win. But with LeBron and without Anthony Davis, different story because Utah beat them by almost 30.
Only other fun fact about Utah, real quick, before the All-Star break is Devin Booker now cannot play due to injury, so Mike Conley from the Utah Jazz will now be taking his spot. There are now 3 players from the Utah Jazz on an All-Star team. Imagine that.
I like
Who
Mike
would've
Conley.
thought? I like Mike Conley,
Yeah,
too. I liked
I
him
do
when he was
too.
in Memphis. I thought he was a really good ball player.
Also today on KTC, state championship basketball. Brent Pasco and John Wall. Hunter? Special announcer today, John Wall for the Shelby girls basketball game.
That's right. That is it's not the same John Wall I'm thinking.
No.
No.
John Wall is he's a former basketball coach at Crest, former soccer coach.
No, but you could have tricked me right there, too, because a friend of mine played basketball travel with, I think, or against John Wall's niece.
Mm-hmm.
Is his niece or
Okay.
Because
That was
he's
a happy
from
accident.
North Carolina. So.
Okay. Well, I should have started off with it was going to be on TV today.
But here's
too,
the
or
thing.
something.
I was
I could've
thinking he
talked
was
you into
there.
it,
He
maybe.
was there for the team from the East.
Oh, okay.
Because
They're
he's
playing
from the
Farmville
Raleigh area.
Central. I don't know if that's good news or bad news.
Yeah, I
Terry.
know. They usually pretty good.
The boys scored
In
like
either one, girls or
113
boys.
in the last game, I think. The boys did.
But I don't know, man.
Yes.
You're talking about Shelby. Shelby's pretty good.
Yes.
Bumped a lot of people.
So no seniors. The girl that I said for Arkansas last week, I confirmed with Brent yesterday. She's a sophomore. Holyfield, one of them, I think he says, getting looked at by Wilmington. I don't want to be totally off on that, but
They don't have a single senior?
not the good ones.
That's good. That always a big plus for next year, too.
Yes, I'm sure that everybody else in the conference is like,
Listen,
yeah,
Shelby
yeah.
is synonymous.
They at least got 2 more years of one Holyfield.
Shelby
in the
is
past.
synonymous, it seems, in all sports with championships.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Y'all really lucky y'all not in our conference. Yeah.
Couldn't win the South Fork, huh, Terry?
Have a hard time beating us.
We were talking.
Lady
We're
Rebels.
going to talk about that in just a few minutes and more in our high school segment. As always, we'll be back. All right, JP, you ready for a first break? We got to eat some breakfast. That was by who, Terry? What are we about to eat? Or who's all
Mitchell's
ate?
Kitchen out of Vale, North Carolina, up around the Northbrook area, 704-276-1155. Contact Carol Robin or whoever answers the phone, and they'll fix you up with some food, whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or if you just want a snack in between.
Yep. All right, guys. I'm going to work on mine here in a minute. Get a highlight or two ready for our high school segment. Hunter, how was it? Was it good?
Yeah, it was very good.
Sunrise
Knocked
wrap?
it out.
Yeah, I see that. Tom?
I had bacon, egg, and cheese on toast.
All right,
as I
JP,
always
tell us
do.
what you had for breakfast and take us away to commercial break in our first commercial break here on KTC.
I haven't had anything yet, but
Okay,
I will
well then-
eventually. I believe it's going to be a sunrise wrap.
You believe you're going to have a sunrise wrap as well?
Yes.
All right, well, our sunrise wraps together in the break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
You know, we always tell our kids that there's no such thing as a money tree. But did you know at Friendship Nissan in Forest City, we kind of do have a money tree? Our money tree gives a $500 better price on any new Nissan, and that's a $500 guarantee that we put in writing. We have no haggle clear choice pricing, the region's only non-commissioned sales force, and we have the only lifetime warranty with no time or mileage limits. So you see, at Friendship Nissan, we kind of do have a money tree, and we're located in Forest City.
NASCAR heads to Vegas.
The Pennzoil 400 is now underway.
Truex will go to the top side of the racetrack. 3 wide in the middle of the banking in turns 1 and 2. Kevin Harvick, the new race leader.
Kevin Harvick has dominated. Chase Elliott's caught him. He looks to the inside, tries to grab the lead in turn 1.
I've got goosebumps. If you're not enjoying this, you're not a race fan.
A Pennzoil 400. Sunday, March 7th at 2:30.
On Carolina Country WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Join us every Sunday at 11 a.m. for our Sunday morning worship services. On WCSL 1590 AM and 92.3 FM, it's the Sunday morning service of First Baptist Church in Cherryville. On WLON 1050 AM and 107.5 FM, it's the Sunday service of the Covenant Bible Church in Lincolnton. And on WOHS 1390 AM and 101.5 FM, it's the Sunday service of the Calvary Baptist Church of Shelby. Join us each and every Sunday morning for our Sunday morning worship services on The Boss and Carolina Country.
Don't miss the Golf Shop Radio Show this Wednesday from 11 to 12, presented by GolfKnickers.com, the leader in traditional golf apparel. Mark Greenheld and Matt Blanchard go from tee to green and everything in between. Welcome to the Golf Shop.
Wednesday mornings at 11 o'clock on Carolina Country, WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Hello, Gaston County residents. Nowhere is the saying, knowledge is power, more evident than when it's time to buy or sell your home. For over 25 years, Moss Realty has served the communities of Gaston County. They know the quality of life on this side of the river, and they offer their personal knowledge of the community. And knowledge is power. Voted Best of Gaston 3 years running. Visit them at mossrealty.com or by phone at 704-865-5555. Moss Realty, your hometown specialist.
As our economy gradually reopens, remember to support local.
Know you're doing the right thing and stay proud.
Be a part of the greatest comeback of all time.
Shop local with whatsupshopper.com, Carolina Country, and The Boss.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the gang. Sorry, I was on the phone. We have Coach P on the line.
Well, there you go. Well, great timing. Who's Coach P, though? JP? Does he have a real name?
I Coach Pruitt. I mean,
golly, I'm so sorry.
There you go, Coach.
JP, everybody at JP.
He's on fire today. He's ready.
Yeah, he said he's going to share some of that sunrise with me, is what he said. So I'll be over in a few minutes, right after I finish getting these pants out of the dryer.
Well, it's cut in half, so he ought to be able to just easily give it to you.
There you go.
Well, good morning, Coach.
Good morning, man. How are y'all doing?
Happy football
Pretty
season,
good.
right?
Yes, sir. Glad to see the sunrise this morning and have another opportunity to play. That's what we talked to our kids last night about. What are we thankful for? And I said one thing, and then some of the boys talked about good health and talked about the opportunity to play with their teammates. And we got that opportunity last night. There were some things that we didn't do well in the first half and got behind, and kind of went from there. But we played two really good football teams, we feel like. And hopefully we're getting ourselves prepared for a run of conference games that we'll be successful in.
Well, let me start off with one question that everybody's asking me and asking us and asking about a lot of teams around here. How's what's your numbers like right now, and health wise for you guys? I know some teams are struggling in that department, especially down in the 1As and stuff. And everybody's asking me, and I'm like, I really haven't really gotten that with Coach, and we wanted to just check on you guys and how you doing here early in the season.
We dressed 46 last night, and that did include a kicker that we got out, Eli Moss, who made his extra point last night. And, of course, soccer, I think the season ends this week, so I look forward to having him with us a little bit more and getting him a little bit better back to kicking the football. But we had 46 last night. You know, this is a big week for us. We're going to play our first JV game. We're going to take probably about 24 guys. I think it's the number we can get on a bus. We're going to go to Mountain Island Charter on Wednesday night. For our varsity guys, since me and Coach Jenkins are the bus drivers, we're going to practice at 7 o'clock early in the morning and get that knocked out, be a short practice, do our normal Wednesday group and team stuff, and then get ready to play 2 football games in 1 week. That's not happened here in Cherryville since 2018. We didn't have a JV team a year and a half ago, so I'm excited about getting those guys on the field and getting them some experience where they just don't, practice all week and then stand on the sideline. That's not what they sign up for. They want to play, so that's what we're going to get ready and get to do this week.
So, varsity-wise, who you got this week, or what's going on with that?
We got Highland Tech, and, of course, we went into the first game with Chase and knew what they had. And then last week when Bessemer played Pine Lake, they had to film from the press box of the baseball facility, and that was not a great film. Of course, it was a rainy day, and they have a new quarterback at Pine Lake Prep who's probably he might be the best quarterback we've played against, and that says a lot because we played against a really good one at Chase in the last couple of years. I mean, he's an outstanding player, and he ran the football against Bessemer 1,000 times, and last night he threw it in the first drive more than he run it or threw it the whole time last week. They come out and empty and spread us all over the field. So we're going to play Highland Tech with them not having a scrimmage, them not having a game, us not having film. So hopefully we'll get our feet under us a little bit and get ourselves ready for the Rams.
Well, Coach, I honestly, that was it was going to be my number 1 or 2 question really was, I hate to ask you about the other team's players really, but just watching that kid the last 2 weeks and then last night how he moved around and threw the ball, I was going to ask you exactly how good he was in person because just on the tape I'm seeing, he does look pretty good.
Yeah, he's a solid kid. I mean, we came out early. They scored a touchdown. We had opportunity with a early drive. We moved the chains, and we had some issues with. We hadn't fumbled a handoff in daggum practice. I don't know how long. We fumbled 3 or 4 last night, and I don't know if it's just the speed of the game. I really think the desire of our kids is just to do so much, do so well that they kind of lose that focus of what they need to do. But yes, the player from I think his last name's Sirico, something close to that. I know he transferred from Huff, but in terms of him being a high school football player, he's one of the better ones that you'll get to see. So, he I believe set a Pine Lake Prep record for passing last night, and put up a score late in the game that his coach said he was wanting to throw the under route, and he ended up throwing the deep bomb. So, yep.
Well, so getting ready, after coming off those 2 weeks, now you got Highland Tech. It's going to be completely, I would say, different with them. How does the rest of your schedule go, and what's going on as far as everything we've seen in the playoffs? It might be only 2 teams in some of these conferences.
Yeah. Right. I think we just take it week to week, just like anything with COVID. We're trying to get to the next game, and last year and this year coming into the game, Highland Tech would have played Thomas Jefferson and Mountain Island Charter the first 2 games. So without playing them, they're obviously going to come into that game probably as healthy as they can be or ever will be playing against the Cherryville team. So they've got a great back in Foster. They've got a couple really good linemen who gave us trouble. They got a really good linebacker who's a local kid. So we're really expecting Highland Tech to be a very good foe. Last year, if people remember, they led us early in the first quarter by more than a touchdown. So our kids really stepped up, and that's something that we haven't done this year. When we get behind, it's just us not being able to execute that game last year. That was very important to us to respond. So that's what we're looking for from our kids, how we respond. Really felt like we had a better week of practice. We obviously had a full week of practice, and I looked at the weather forecast, and there's not a drop of rain for the next 6 or 7 days. So we're looking forward to getting back on the field and getting better. We have a young group, and we just got to stay patient and keep working with these guys and get them to the point where they can succeed on the field and feel confident about themselves and the person beside of them.
Terry?
No, I'm good, Coach. Coach, as you're looking, I mean, I know you got Highland Tech coming up, but as far as the conference-wise, who do you think in your conference can maybe compete for a state title? I know it's early, and I'm asking you something that you might not even know, but when you start looking forward and on deep into the season, I know it's a short season and the season's going to be over so fast. Who do you think in your conference maybe has an opportunity competing for a 1A title? Well, there we go. I think we lost him.
Yeah, he did go in and out a sec. I think we lost him. JP cut out. He may call back.
He'll call.
May not.
He'll
Coach
call back.
Pruitt.
Coach, just call us back. I think the call dropped.
Yep, Coach Pruitt.
Terry was asking you who you thought might threaten for the state championship within that conference you're playing in. I do wonder how good that Pine Lake Prep team is.
I wonder about. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it takes a player and the rest of them just fall in.
Well, you wondered even. We might have a different names in the 2A.
I think he's back.
Okay, in the 2A and 3A as well this year because you don't know who went to college.
Yeah.
And early, like Shelby lost a few. I know some of these other schools did around here too. Coach, we got you back.
Okay, yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry. Terry's question was about who do I feel like can compete for a state championship.
Right.
I mean,
if you know, right
obviously
now.
last year Thomas Jefferson played for the semifinals and Mountain Island Charter played East Surrey to a one-touchdown game who ended up winning the state championship. So, obviously going into the season, those are the two teams. Have not seen either one of those teams. I know I think Thomas Jefferson's won 2 games now. Mountain Island Charter lost to East Lincoln in a close game and then won last night. So, to me, those are the two teams that are at the front. But, after we got done with the game last night, we really felt like Pine Lake Prep probably has a team that can be very competitive with a lot of teams in our league.
Okay.
Obviously, they've come out of the gate, and they've got some players in some positions. So I think a year like this year, kind of like any other sports season from the pros all the way through college to the high school level, who's going to be able to stay healthy, who's going to be able to, not have COVID issues, who handles those things the best. Like last night we kicked off at 6:30. We had homecoming. I didn't think those things really distracted us, and I really like the fact that we don't have our kids in the locker room very long, and we don't have them here very long. There's not a lot of downtime. There's a lot of things that, we haven't had a travel game yet. So there's a lot of things that, might not be in your control that would determine the season. But obviously those two teams would be at the top of the heap. And, I think when Mountain Island played East Lincoln, I'm not sure they had all their players either. So to me, those would probably be the two better teams. But Community School played Thomas Jefferson a pretty good game. I think they settled for 3 field goals instead of scoring 3 touchdowns. And then obviously Pine Lake's been pretty successful. And then, Bessemer turned it around last night and got a big win. I didn't get to talk to Coach Boone this week. I got to see some of their film, so I know that's a big win for them to come off the game they did last week. That's what we want our kids to do this coming week.
Well, thank you, Coach, for giving us a call. And, it's going to be a fast 7 weeks, and enjoy it. And, hope the seniors enjoy every minute they can. But, and you guys have a good weekend and good week of preparation.
All right. Appreciate you guys. Y'all have a great one.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
As
Take care.
always.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Right, Coach Tim Pruitt, Cherville Ironman football. Tough win against this week. And 48-7. And, guys, I'm just watching it. The kid, he moves around well. He just threw it well. He looks like a real maybe college quarterback. Maybe
Well, I mean, you look at them, and Pine Lake Prep's played 2 weeks, and they've had no trouble either week.
Yeah, so they got to be pretty good. Of course, it gives you a little advantage if you're in I think Pine Lake Prep is in Iredell County. I want to say they're in Iredell County. I have to look again to make sure. I want to say they're in Mooresville.
It is Mooresville.
Iredell County. So guess what? They can recruit.
Yeah.
They can recruit Charlotte.
Oh, yeah.
They can maybe get a couple of the Hickory kids.
Well, think about it.
His name's Vic Garrido.
They can definitely.
They're in the Mooresville area. They can take from the 2 4A schools sitting right there in Lake Norman and Mooresville.
You're right.
They can get talent.
It's a tremendous advantage.
Well, he said he was from Huss.
Yeah. It's not that far.
Right.
I mean,
and you never know where people's family is, and
right,
like
and people that have the means, or they have people who have the means to help those without the means to participate. Which I'm all about kids' participation. That's fine. I got nothing for that. But you need to compete in your own separate.
I agree.
Playoff thing. If you're going to give that advantage, and it doesn't work out for all of them, Terry, because some struggle, some do very well. But if you're going to play by a different set of rules, either make them play separate or you play up. If you're 2A, play 3A. If you're 3A, play 4A.
Yeah.
Same thing with Charlotte Catholic. They should have been playing 4A for years. So those
they will be this year or next year.
Yeah, but because they have 4A numbers.
Yeah, finally.
Because they have 4A numbers.
Yeah.
So I just think that you want to level the playing field, but I'm not real sure what those people in Chapel Hill think about, Terry, when they make the rules and conferences and things like that. I think they just get in a smoke-filled room. I'm not really sure what the smoke is, and they come out with some decisions that really don't make a whole lot of sense.
Well, any room that comes out, Tom, where you have Highland Tech in the same conference as Shelby,
stupid.
like
I mean, you're gonna tell me that
it's not a good decision
and Thomas,
at any point. And what it is, the state knows. They know Shelby. They see them every year. They they know all the coaches and the principals and everybody down there. And I'm sure Shelby and Burns don't want to be in that conference either.
They don't.
And I guess they didn't care about any of the protests from anyone. So I don't think there's anything heard maybe sometimes.
But the bottom line is when you have a committee that is over there that sends out this thing saying, ADs, give me your vote, whether these schools should be in the conference or out of the conference, and then half of your ADs do not send in a vote, that's how this continues on. Everybody's got to be on the same page, and when you got a lot of people who are not on that same page, that's what we've got.
Well, we got a couple highlights this morning. Tom, you can kind of talk about some of the game. You're a little bit about when we get your highlights when we get to them. I want to show you some of this. This is one of our best shots. This is Peyton Warlick. I want to start out, folks. If you're listening, like, what are you talking about? Highlights? Well, we've got highlights from the games. We've got Twitter folks out there recording. This is a touchdown here. Hunter, I know you don't want to watch this, and Terry don't either. But this is a Maiden Blue Devils touchdown right here last night.
Oh, look, it's got some fans in the stands.
Yep.
Starting to get back to normal.
And this photographer almost makes the catch here in the corner, Hunter.
This one right here on the
yes, this lady.
Marker.
Terry, you don't know who this lady is here in the West Lincoln jacket is at the goal line, do you? But anyway, yeah, she about makes the catch here. And they're going to roll out here to the right, little out pattern underneath, and boom, quarterback puts it right on the pylon. Great pass, great play for Maiden on the touchdown there as they celebrate there on that. One more time for the folks watching at home on the replay. Maiden won last night 21-20, and one of the things I kind of wanted to get to and talk about and ask Hunter about his opinion on it. Tom and them had a game last week that really this really affected. The kickers, with these crossover sports, a lot of these kickers are playing soccer and football, and now they're having game times that Thursday night game they had them on the same night. Hunter, I know you didn't kick football, but what is your thoughts on leaving a soccer game and then being asked to kick a football, which is probably totally different mechanics and type of a? I'm guessing. I don't know. And Tom, I
practiced kicking footballs in case the football team needed a kicker and asked us. But they asked our goalie who had a freaking rocket leg, so that was fine. I was like, that's fine. But when I was practicing, it's not as much you're kicking it different as it is where your plant foot goes.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where you have to focus on it because you're still kicking with the inside of your foot or the top of your foot, really. But wherever that plant foot goes, it's kind of like in baseball. If that plant foot is facing left when you come forward on that stride, that baseball's going to go left. And the same thing with whether you're kicking a football and a soccer ball, whichever way this plant foot's going, because that's going to shift your hips is which way that ball's going to go. But going from a soccer game to a football game, I can only imagine really what's going through his mind because he has to go from two different mindsets of, I don't know what position the kid would be playing in soccer, but whatever his role is there, he's got to change his mindset. Not only that, change his whole equipment, go and get in pads and put the helmet on and then go and be prepared for this. If you don't get the reps you need probably during the week because you have to decide which practice you're going to go to more and you're going to have games at different times. I just think it's hard for you to try and leave one sport and your mind is on that and then have to go and have it in another sport. That's the hardest thing for me.
Also this.
Because there are two different things. You're going from one sport where you're constantly moving to where your position might go on the field maybe like 2 to 3 times a game, not considering kickoff.
Well, what about, Tom? You've done them both as far as like, the pressure in a football game different as far as kicking in soccer. It's like you have to make this kick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you, like Hunter says, okay, well, you planted wrong, so the ball went to the left, it went out of bounds, okay, throw in for the other team. But if that happens in a football game, then you may have just lost the ball game. Now, I will say this, and I've seen with some of the poor conditions and being out there and officiating some of these soccer games, that if you get a poor goal kick and it goes right to the opposing team, and now they may have a one-on-one to go, especially if it's your goalkeeper taking the goal kicks and there's no defenders.
And see,
back
I'm
there.
surprised too that they would even sometimes schedule those games. Obviously, they can't help it if it gets pushed back due to the weather and they're both playing on the same day. But
this is me.
Different
when I
That's
coached,
tough,
I
man.
tell you, Hunter, when I coached, I loved it, and nobody else did, but I loved it. A Saturday makeup game. Why don't play this? Just play the soccer game on Saturday.
I don't understand what I mean.
I don't understand that.
You
either.
could
Just
get
play
it
the
done.
soccer.
You
Just
could
play
get it
on
done,
Saturday.
and you could do it at a reasonable time too. You could do it like at a lunchtime, a 1 o'clock game. You don't have to wait till
That's
late.
exactly what I did. We played soccer at lunchtime, and it was in October a couple times. The weather was beautiful, and we had a great time. I just don't understand. Why
I think you're putting too much on the kid to have to rush from one game to the next. Like he ain't a professional. He ain't a college player. Like he's a high school kid. He's a high school kid who might think about it. If if it's an away game and he has to rush back, somebody's gonna have to take him from that away game back. So like he's not even in control when he can get there. So I don't know this because think about it, most games we talk about it. Most schools do not have a dedicated field for the soccer game. They share the field with football. Yeah. So most of the time when we're seeing these games are going on at the same time, I know good and well they're not playing the soccer game before the football game. Yeah. They're not doing that. So they would have to be away.
Ford has their own.
We had our own at
North
Bandy's.
Lincoln, Bandy's has their own. So
we
some
have nice Bermuda grass.
The Hickory area teams tend to. It's more common up there. East Lincoln has their own. So
all right. Well,
the lake schools.
This is the touchdown and extra point sequence. For Maiden and West Lincoln. Now, Terry, I couldn't tell. Do you know if it was blocked, it was tipped, that the kick was short of the field goal? I do not know. I was guessing it was tipped. Do you have a good kicker?
Yeah, he's decent.
Okay, so if it was short of the field goal, can I imagine that it was blocked? It looks. That's what I want to say.
I mean, but
we're going to watch the video right now for the folks watching live on YouTube. This is the extra point where they come in, and this is the key point in the game, and the blocked extra point.
West Lincoln doesn't have a soccer team this year, though.
Okay.
They're not playing this year.
And we're not here blaming kickers or anything like that, folks. What crucial point is, special teams. So, as you see, as the kick went off, I know we had a fan walk right there. Terry, you know this young lady walking by?
No.
Let's see if you say something to her in school. Tell her she was on KTC. Let's see.
I feel like she's from Maiden.
That's some West Lincoln cheerleaders right in front of her, Terry.
Maybe she's over visiting.
Okay. Well, anyway, as the kick went off, there was 2 or 3 Maiden players right around it, and you see the ball is there short, and it's in front of the field goal post. So I'm guessing it was tipped. I don't see a ref or anyone doing tipped, but I'm surely he didn't just kick it 10 yards right over the guys. But special teams hunt. Talking about the D line. Even if you do kick it good, Hunter, that you don't even think about it, you got to have that too as well. The line's got to block the guys in front of you, right? And what about going for 2 in those situations, Terry? How you feel about that? And Tom, when you down, up, is there something you like? Is that a feeling? Based
how many
on what
times
you got?
Pine Lake Prep go for 2 last night? About every time they scored. I don't know whether they had a kicker or not, did they?
I do not know.
I'm sure at Pine Lake Prep, surely they got a kicker.
Well, I mean, the first 2 times they scored, they went for 2.
I don't know. The advanced analytics, what's your percentage possibility of getting a 2-pointer based on what you do? How many 2-point plays do you have?
Yeah, how many people are doing advanced analytics in high school?
There's probably more than you realize that are saying, well, how do we do in 3rd and 4th and 2? But then again, you're going for 2. One thing that stands out in my mind, it's not like going for 2 yards in the middle of the field, because now you might play action and throw it down the field. There, you might throw that little, that little pop pass or something like that, but the field's not as big, and it's, it limits what you can do down there. So I don't know. It's in professionals, because they make it look so easy, snap, hold, kick. Even at the college level, make it look easy. In high school, it's an adventure. We had a bad snap, and we did not convert a PAT. And on the other PAT, we had the backup kicker, bless his heart, wasn't even close. I mean, he wasn't even close on a PAT. So in high school, it's so much more probable that you won't make the PAT unless you've got a really great kicker. Then, you might be better off.
Yeah, and there's a lot of schools who do not have kickers that they go for two.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I'm being now, if you go to Shelby, it's a whole different story.
They're always going to have a kicker.
I've
they're
been up there times when they have like 4 or 5 out there kicking field goals, and I'll be like, my Lord, send one to West Lincoln.
Well, I grew up with a kid, and his mother taught at Cherryville, and Shelby at this time, Cherryville didn't have a soccer program, and so he wanted to play soccer. So when he got to high school, he went over there. He lived in that district. And he was over here because his mother taught. And he went over there. He kicked at Tennessee. He didn't kick for the team. He was like, they had 9 kickers on the roster.
Yeah, they go.
It's
you get uniforms and free meals.
Right.
So.
He played more baseball at Tennessee. But anyway, Trey could boom it. The guy he played with, I think, has tied for the state record in distance on a field goal. And they just rotated kickers. And I'm like, we're sitting over here and we ain't got no kicker. I'm having to do the kicking. If we had to make a decision, do we want to go for 2 or kick 1? I could kick it about 5 yards or over the field goal. That's all I had. So I was the backup on both of those. Wasn't even the main one. So, it's not like we just go out there. And if we had him, he's kicking 40, 50 yarders, just booting it away. Like you said, Terry, some teams are more blessed that way. All right, Tom, here's a touchdown for Burns last night. Go ahead, Hunter.
No, I was just going to say, I think when I was practicing, obviously I didn't have pads or nothing. I think the best I hit was at least 45. That was about it.
That was the, on this touchdown play, this was a 4th down play. This was the old, I don't know if you guys remember from about 15 years ago, the old Bush push when he pushed Lionheart into the end zone against Notre Dame. Yeah. That's the same thing.
Okay.
He just came from behind and pushed Sweezy into the end zone, which is legal now. But it was illegal then, so that touchdown shouldn't have counted. But, that was a 49-yard touchdown drive or 59-yard touchdown. They started out in good field position and then got down there, and they still took 4 downs to get in there. Chase, pretty tenacious on defense, I will say that. They got after it. Second half, their depth showed that they were having a lot of guys go both ways. And that, I think, Burns wore them down, especially that long drive. Didn't get any points, but that one long drive just wore them out, and that was it.
Well, Tom, this is the safety that put Bulldogs up 8-0, a hike over the punter's head.
This was the killer.
You think he made a good decision just kicking out of the back, or should he try to get it off here?
I thought it was like a 4th and 8, and look where he is. So he's got to get all the way up to the 30-yard line for a first down. He's got no chance of that.
Right.
So if he tries to run it out, he's got 2 guys there. So if he gets it out, he's going to be at the 2 or 3 yard line. And now you give him Burn a touchdown. At that point, it was 6-0. You give him a safety. Now it's 8-0. Okay, you get a stop. What's your strategy? Get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
With him not even looking back, Tom, I'm going to say he was coached to, if this goes silly, kick it out of the back of the end zone.
Correct. But you have to get, like, Chase had a number of special teams miscues in that game. 1, a blocked field goal. 2, the botched snap. 3, when Alfonso Goodson picked up a bad snap on the punt and nobody came, they set up return. Terry, he just takes off and runs for 20 yards. You've got to have, when you've got an athlete back there punting. Now, when I punted, back when Vanilla Ice was still popular, that's how long ago it's been.
That's when they had real athletes at the punter, right, Tom?
Nobody accounted for me. You know what I mean? Nobody accounted for me because I wasn't the athlete, right? But when you've got Al Goodson back there, you've got to know he's an athlete. Yeah. You've got to account for that. So that was 3 miscues for Chase on special teams. That with the 2 interceptions, that was the difference in the ball game. And you had those miscues, Terry, and you only lost 14-0.
Well, that's what I was saying. 14-0, and you play Burns. For Chase,
they had a good chance to win that game.
For Chase going into their locker room after the game, the coach has to be proud of them.
Well, I think it was 41-9 or something like that last year. It was. I don't know if that's the exact
score.
What
the score was, but it wasn't. It was competitive for a while, but then it wasn't late in the game.
Right.
But what do we got here?
This is the interception before the half. So, Terry, they also turned the ball over inside the 20 here.
He shouldn't have thrown this ball. He threw it into double or triple coverage. He was being pressured, though. Watch the pressure.
Right.
Watch the pressure. Comes right up the gut, and he has to get rid of it before he's ready.
He threw it off his back foot.
Threw it off
lefty.
his back foot, and he overshot his receiver. And then it's just.
So the guy on the 10 on the video, guys, is kind of blurry. He's not the one picking it off. It's the safety behind him.
Right.
So it goes right over. I don't know. I guess this is the corner coming up on the cover too. Maybe let's check it out.
They've got one safety, and he just read it. See, he just read the quarterback's eyes.
Yeah, the corner's sitting there in cover 2, waiting for something to come in his flat there, I think. And then he shorted up. He jumped for it, missed it. Safety read it perfectly.
Right.
Picks it off. And that was right there at halftime, right?
Yeah, but that's smart play because you got the lefty Hampton. He's looking left the whole time. See, he's looking left the whole time.
Right.
And then when that pressure came up and then he let it go too early, overthrew it. He might have been trying to throw it away and couldn't get enough on it.
I think he was. Honestly, I think at that point, Tom, I don't think he's trying to throw it. I think he's trying to throw it and hit that pylon as high and far as he can, and let his wide. He trusts his wide receiver.
But watch his feet. Watch his feet.
Right.
He doesn't get the feet set. He's off his back foot. He's jumping in the air as he's throwing the ball. He just can't get anything on.
Right. You can't throw him backwards. People just don't get it. And that's one thing. We talk about arm strength and your footwork is more important a lot of times, Terry, when you're throwing the ball than your arm strength. So when I go to plant, if my guy's not open, well, now I got to move or take another step. And then when I'm ready to throw, there might not be a guy open. There's all kinds of mini timings. When's the guy open? When's not? Are my feet ready? Where's the rush? Am I about to get smacked? It's like 3 different things happening within a span of 3.5, 4 seconds. And it's all just 1, 2, 3, what's going on? And then you go and release. That right there, honestly, I think he's tossed up hoping his receiver. What end of the half? Was that the last play or next last play?
But Burns, if you watch the film, Burns gets the ball deep in their own area with like 49 seconds. What are you doing, Terry? You got a 6-0 lead, 49 seconds left to go. You're on your own 6. Well, old conservative Tom's going to say, boys, victory formation, kneel down. Let's go talk about it. Oh, no. Deep pass into triple coverage on the first play. Almost got it. Second play looked like backyard football. Sweezy rolled around to the left and then shot put it at 5 yards to a guy. And I was like, oh, my God, that was almost picked off too. And then the clock ran and then they decided to run it out. So I was like, I guess I like the aggressiveness. But deep in your own 10, you've got the lead. You just got the pick. I don't know. I was going to take that momentum to the locker room.
Depends on how many timeouts Chase had.
Yeah.
Have they used any?
They had. They had. And it was only 50 seconds left to go. So, I mean, I don't know. I would have run the ball up the middle a couple times and gone into
but if
the
the
locker
coach
room.
had hit that big pass down the field, you'd have said that's the greatest play of all time.
It was into triple coverage. And somehow Thompson almost caught it.
So, Hunter, listen to this. I want to ask Tom what he was thinking while I was texting him this last night. Halftime, Shelby, 17-15, RS Central.
I thought that was very intriguing. And RS Central may be better than we give them credit because we've talked up Chase coming off their 10-3 year, Shelby, Burns. What about RS Central? South Point, what about them? Now, South Point, by losing to Burns, is in a bit of a hole now. But
well, according to Terry, they'd all be in 3rd or 4th place in the South Fork.
Probably
right?
would.
Right. Okay.
Well, anyway,
we don't make jokes on KTC. Terry, you just made the Facebook complaint line right now. That joke.
Meanwhile, back in reality, that RS Central may, if they can win the rest of their conference games and beat Burns, they'd be the number 2. So, I mean, it's one of those things.
Burns is in a good spot
because they beat Chase.
2 of the 3 teams already.
Right.
Let's call them the second place teams. Let's say Shelby is the favorite.
Right.
Y'all might be. Yeah. But my point is, y'all have already beat South Point and Chase. So now you're 2-1 right there already. If you beat RS Central, you're locked for the most part right there in that spot, right? Don't you think?
Yeah.
But that's going to be obviously a tough game. Here was the text last night. It was 17-15 from Steve Degree reporting last night. Then Shelby went up 24-15. Then Shelby 24-22 fourth quarter. I get that, and I'm like, whoa. Now that's when Dennis set up. Now Dennis was awful nervous. He was sweating bullets. Crest and Kramer are 24-24. Shelby's 24-22, and we thinking we're about oh God, it's about to get crazy in here. And both teams pull
Kinda
away in the
separated
fourth.
themselves, yeah.
They're late with a couple of turnovers and defensive stops for everybody. So Crest had some big plays last night. We'll put it this way, Hunter, before halftime, Tylen Ruff had a 70-yard touchdown, a 67-yard touchdown, and a 17-yard touchdown. And I don't even know about any of his other carries. I'm still waiting to see his total from last night.
I guess he had a good night.
150 yards on 3 carries. I tell you what that reminds me of. It reminds me of Mario Dye back in 2001 against everybody in our conference. He put 270 on Cherryville Bestman. It didn't matter who he played. He was like, I can't remember where he went. He was the key one prior, but just fast. He was the one that I couldn't. I mean, he was more Caleb Farley than key one. And the first time I'll never forget. You know, Angles Terry safety. First time I took an angle on him, he beat me by like 10 yards. Like I'm at the 20, he's standing at the 10 and walks in the end zone. I was like, okay, we're gonna have to adjust this one, boys. Y'all can at least hold him up for a second, or he's getting a 400 yards on us. And that dude could fly. But yeah, that's what that reminded me of with that. All right. Any other news and notes? Final thoughts, Terry, on football last night? Let's give the scores again, Hunter.
I got you. Pine Lake Prep over Cherryville, 48-7. Burns over Chase, 14-0. East Lincoln over Lincoln, 41-0.
Now, I'm going to tell you something about that game.
Over East Rutherford, 49-14.
Yeah, that game right there, East Lincoln, 41-0. After Lincoln and looked very impressive last week against Newton Conover. You know. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Kevin, I'm going to be honest. You said, Hunter, I thought you were going to start, and I was going to go after you.
Okay.
Because you said, let us.
Okay.
Let us.
Now, Hunter, go ahead to the next one.
Which one did you just do?
I just did the main scores.
Okay.
The big ones.
Okay. Shelby, 38. RS Central, 22. Union Academy, 6. Bessemer City, 18. South Point, 44. East Gaston, 6. East Rowan, 6. Thomas Jefferson, 21. Community School of Davidson, 35 over Bishop McGinnis. Crest, 55. Kramer, 24. Mountain Island Charter, 58. Christ the King, 0. Newton Conover, 32. Bandy's, 14. Oh, it's a bad day to be an alum. Maiden, 21. West Lincoln, 20. North Lincoln, 34. West Mecklenburg, goose egg.
Well, Hunter, you could at least say you're just more concerned about the soccer score.
Gave up 6 points in 2 games.
I can't say. Well, hey, listen. Over there, we're on to baseball season.
Did you get the last board, Hunter?
Not yet. I didn't know if anybody else wanted to do the last board. I'll do it if not.
Go ahead.
Bunker Hill 32, Ford 7, Freedom 28, Hickory 16, McDowell 21, St. Stephen's 18, East Burke 43, West Iredell 6, High Brighton 62, West Caldwell 6,
ouch,
Watauga 21, Alexander Central 7, Statesville 27, South Caldwell 18. Tom, I'm glad you said ouch because I had to second guess myself. I about said High Brighton 62, West Caldwell. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. That was, yeah.
See, Hunter needs to read the scores because he's not here on Fridays, but then he doesn't need to read the scores because of things like that.
Okay.
So we've got a phone caller real quick before we go to break. Coach from Bessemer City. Now, I don't even know who's on the phone. JP just said, I have a Bessemer City
The Bessemer
coach.
City head
It's not.
coach.
It's not your fault, Coach. It's completely our board up is an idiot. So who we got? Is this Larry? Is this Coach Boone?
It's Larry.
Hey,
Larry
Coach.
Boone.
How are you, buddy? How's it going over there?
It's going. Big win last night for us, so we're a little happy this morning waking up.
Well, happy football season to you, and I want to thank you for calling in. 18-6 win. We've been playing you highlights last night. A little bit better than the first week, but Pine Lake Prep kind of did the same thing to Cherryville. We mentioned earlier, real quick. I hate to ask you about other teams. How good's that quarterback for Pine Lake Prep, real quick?
I tell you what, he's pretty good. Strong kid, runs the ball hard. Even the fullback, they coach has done a great job over there. The extra fall practice or whatever's kind of helped them out because they're pretty good, no lie.
Well, Coach, with the big win last night, 18-6. Everybody's asking, of course. Numbers are down over at Bessemer. How are you guys surviving? What's going on, or how do you plan with what you got over there and what you doing?
Oh yeah, numbers are down. I've been there 20-something years, and I've never been under 20. So we're at 16.
Wow.
And that's counting soccer players and everything. So it's a difficult task. Just to game plan for practice.
Well, Coach, somebody should put a medal on you for winning a game with 16. I mean, really. I mean, you can't with what you got. I hate to hear it. I'm sorry. I got the boy. One of the guys in here predicted y'all not to win last night, and I've been giving him a lot of texts all night, keeping him awake after that last night.
It just boils down to, I mean, because like I said, at practice we don't do a lot of hitting, we don't do a lot of scrimmage because we don't have the numbers. So we pretty much just go through our plays. Defense goes through their stuff. We go through kicking game. We just kind of rep, but no live contact. But like last night, you score and you want your kickoff team to come on, whereas your offense coming off the field. So they just played hard last night. That's all I could say for them. They quarterback start. We would run the ball. Quarterback hit a couple big pass plays. I think he threw the ball 5 or 6 times and completed 3 or 4. So, I just can't say enough about those 16. They played hard last night, both ways.
Well, Holmes' 15-yard touchdown pass, PJ Tribble. You got Coach. You got 16 players on your team. If you want to name all of them, you got plenty of. You can go ahead. I mean, really, go ahead and give you guys all the credit you want.
You're right. I mean, the offensive line and the defensive line. I got two. On the offensive line, I got 3 freshmen starting. 2 twins, Mason, and got another kid named Mason playing tight end. I'm sorry, I can't remember his last name, but I got 3 seniors. So that offensive line, they turn around and they play a defensive line. So they're getting beat up every play. It ain't like a linebacker, a DB, or receiver. They're getting beat on every play. PJ Tribble, he had that big touchdown pass. Then you got Dalton Watson, which had a big game. So they both run at fullback. So they just kind of take turns. One looks like he's wearing out or got his hand up. We send the other one in, and sometimes Dalton's got to go play wing. So it's just a matter of putting the pieces together of the puzzle.
Well, who you got this week, and what you got going forward here?
Well, we travel to St. Stephen's this week, so they contacted me back in once they figured out we had 7 games and they didn't have a lot of games. So we're gonna take our. I got to come up with a nickname for 16 players. You used to have like the Dirty Dozen or something. I got to come up with a nickname for those 16, and we're gonna make some shirts or something. But we're gonna travel up to St. Stephen's next week.
Well, you don't want to hear this from especially coming from me and anybody in Cherryville, but that's how they got their name originally. Is they had about as many players as you have this year.
Right.
And one of their original things. But yeah, definitely. It's not much of a hype with only 16, Coach. But congratulations! I mean, outstanding just for the win and 16 guys, and hopefully in the fall we'll get it back going. You got anything else to say about your other sports programs? I know you're athletic director. You got other things going on.
We do. Our girls basketball team was finished. I think it was a 5-way tie for first place. Everybody was beating everybody, and ended up drawing the number 1 seed out of the playoffs. So got a home game and ran up against Bishop McGinnis, which they were pretty good. And you want to talk about numbers? They had 6.
Oh,
6 girls.
Wow.
6 girls. And I think one fouled out one time. So that's the only time she fouled out. And then, the last game they played with 5 because we had one with a concussion protocol. She was under the protocol. So, volleyball struggled too. We just our whole athletic department doesn't have the numbers, but our coaching staff and the kids that play other sports, we ask them to go play another sport, and they do that. So I can't talk enough and thank enough of my coaching staff and just the student body and the athletes that are playing one sport that we ask to go play another, and how thankful we are for them doing that.
Well, Coach, thank you for giving us a call, and good luck this week. And y'all be careful out there and practice and everywhere else. And thanks for letting us cover you guys and everything else that you're doing out there right now with the numbers you got, Coach.
If you see any more, we send them our way. We'll be glad to take them.
I hear you.
Hey, I actually tried to get you an offensive lineman the other day. He's a backup one of the bigger schools. I was like, they only got 16 at Bessemer. Go ahead and go. They need plenty over there.
Well, I hope my county athletic director's not listening, but backups will become starters over at Bessemer City.
All right, Coach, you have a good one, brother.
As long as we go through the proper channels.
Right
There you go.
There you go. Have a good weekend, Coach, and a good week.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach Larry Boone, Bessemer City High School. I tell you what, he's really good at. You associate coaches with football. Oh, yeah. I give him credit for catching. He is a fantastic catching coach. He was my summer baseball coach over there, and he was a catch. He was in charge of catching and defense when Coach Mahaffey was the head coach there while I was there, and then he did a little bit of head too. But he's a busy man over there.
Yeah, and Coach does a great job as far as coaching and his AD. But I want to tell you something. And when you sit there and you listen to him, don't get me wrong, he's really athletic and into the game and wants to win. He's got a lot of support for his guys. But you think of next year when they go and have to play a Shelby, have to play people like that. And if you don't have numbers, he needs at least close to 30, on this team, because when you don't know what injuries might happen in those games. And if you got 16, how does the protocol come across if, hey, I cannot play this coming week because I had so many that got hurt? Yeah. How does that work?
I don't know. Them and Highland Tech and Cheryl's got 40 people.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's okay.
They're in a decent spot. But Bessemer and Highland's not. And they don't have, as far as numbers wise, have no business playing either one of those teams, Burns or Shelby. They didn't play with East Gas, and they've been playing them for years.
Yeah.
I had no problem with them. And that's the same thing, that we talk these roster sizes like Ashbrook, East Gas, and those are really big schools, Terry, but they only got 20-some people in their roster.
And you wonder how come Ashbrook, for sure. There's a lot of athletes down at Ashbrook for them not to have no more.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's take a break. Let's come back, and we're going to unleash Hunter. Terry's going to talk NC State basketball. We got NBA, NFL, and more on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could go look at a new car or truck and you didn't have to worry about getting caught up in those games that waste half your day? Well, Friendship Nissan and Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Forest City is different because we're fast, easy, and transparent. We have over 300 new and used vehicles on the ground with clear choice pricing and the region's only non-commissioned sales force, and a free lifetime warranty on every new car. You better believe Friendship Nissan and Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram is different, and you can find us in Forest City.
The Chicken on the Run is back at the Cherryville Country Club. Now the Cherryville Country Club is offering their famous Chicken on the Run to go special. You get 8 pieces of chicken, 1 quart of potatoes with gravy, 1 quart of green beans, and bread, all for $25. Call your order in on Saturdays before 5 p.m., 704-435-6597. Pick your chicken up in the Pro Shop on Sundays, 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. Again, get your chicken to go from the Cherryville Country Club each and every Sunday.
Take advantage of a special offer on the versatile Kubota BX Series subcompact tractor. Switching attachments is simple, and a smooth hydrostatic transmission makes for easy operation. The Kubota BX Series, the #1 selling subcompact tractor in the U.S. for over 10 years. You own the land. Now, make it yours. Get the Kubota BX 2380 for payments as low as $99 a month.
Your Kubota dealer is Parker Farm Service, 126 Bessie Drive, off Highway 74 at Oak Grove Road, Kings Mountain.
For all of your printing needs, see Modern Printing of Cherryville. Get your full-color business cards at Modern Printing of Cherryville, along with your full-color brochures. Get multicolor letterhead and multicolor envelopes. Just call 704-435-6112 or email at modern_printing@ymail.com. Modern Printing, located 902 East Main Street, Cherryville. Open Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. till 4:30 p.m. That's Modern Printing of Cherryville.
Take advantage of a special offer on the versatile Kubota BX Series subcompact tractor. Switching attachments is simple, and a smooth hydrostatic transmission makes for easy operation. The Kubota BX Series, the #1 selling subcompact tractor in the U.S. for over 10 years. You own the land. Now, make it yours. Get the Kubota BX 2380 for payments as low as $99 a month.
Your Kubota dealer is Parker Farm Service, 126 Bessie Drive, off Highway 74 at Oak Grove Road, Kings Mountain. Earn cash back on dinner while you listen to high school sports on the radio. With a Carolina Federal Credit Union Visa credit card, you can enjoy 1% cash back on every purchase. Carolina Federal Credit Union's Visa credit card has no annual fee and rates starting as low as 10.9% APR. Apply for a credit card online at carolinafcu.org or stop by the Carolina Federal Credit Union drive-thru for an application. Join Carolina Federal Credit Union, where we treat you like family because you are. APR is the annual percentage rate. Rates are subject to change, and an actual rate will be determined based on credit score.
And we're back on Saturday morning sports talk.
And Saturday morning sports talk is brought to you by Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram on 190 Oak Street Extension in Forest City, North Carolina, 828-919-3001. And Friendship Nissan at 156 Oak Street Extension, Forest City, North Carolina, 828-245-1661. As I stated earlier, President's mailing everybody a check, getting your taxes back. Time to go to Friendship. Put that money down on a new ride. Get your wife a car. You keep that happy wife, happy life, right?
Tom, say we're dealing.
That we're dealing. They are dealing at Friendship. Chrysler
No,
Jeep Dodge.
Tom.
Hold on.
You gotta say it like the guy says it. With him.
Next time we got to get Tom on the read with the video so I can have that on record. That's a good read. I had the scoreboard up on that one. But good morning, everybody. Terry's giving Hunter mouth to mouth here in a minute, maybe.
Let's hope not.
That's just water.
You know what we need in here? We need a coffee maker in this building.
No, we don't.
How could we have a radio station? And that's what my good friend, my dear friend, Steve Roberts, I miss him so much. We enjoyed coffee together. We enjoyed, and I would grind the beans for him. He would love my fresh coffee.
What?
You don't drink coffee, Terry?
I despise coffee.
What's wrong with you?
But I would
I don't like
for
coffee either.
Steve.
He has
For
such
Steve.
a potty mouth.
No, it's not
Tom
that.
does.
I
No,
would
I said
leave.
Tom does.
Oh, but I would leave a bunch of times and go get Steve some coffee.
Oh man, McDonald's coffee.
Yeah.
Remember, he
Teachers-
loved
all the
Teachers
time.
love coffee.
He loves
Steve's a
can't.
teacher.
I can't
Tom's a
stand
teacher.
it.
My wife teaches. They like coffee.
You don't like coffee either?
No, I can't stand the smell.
I've never liked
taste.
coffee.
Oh, I
like-
like the smell.
I don't know. No.
I just don't.
All of you are weirdos.
But we should have a Keurig machine in here. You know what I'm saying? There you go,
Not a
Tom.
Keurig.
Oh,
Not
If
a
I smell
I'm
coffee,
trying
I'll
to-
walk around my house.
Keurig just screams
Live
liberal
with the
sissy.
dogs
I like
with
my own. I like my.
I've
own
even
tradition.
tried flavored coffee. Like, got blueberry flavoring in it and everything. Fancy, because my cousin does a podcast, and it was an evangelical podcast, and they would always have coffee with them. And they had me in one day, and and I told him, I was like, but I don't like coffee. He's like, well, we don't just get that Folger stuff on it.
Well,
and
let me
I
ask you
tried it, and I was like, I still don't like it.
Do you like cold coffee?
Not particular. I mean, I'll drink it. I mean, it's fine. I like hot coffee. I like to grind my own beans. I like to purify my water. I like to get it just right. Make a good.
Well, it's a whole process, huh?
It is a process.
Too much for me. I just
It
like
is a
water.
process. That's all I drink.
The
Water
more
and
Tom
coffee.
talks, the more I think he knows how to moonshine.
I might. I
The more
might.
he talks, he knows his tax.
I might be one of those. I might,
He's over here building coffee machines. There's something going on. Over
He's
here.
grinding beans for other men. God.
We must be on him. He's leaving.
Yeah, he left. There used to be chickens that run around his yard. You don't know what's going on. He's got those yard raptors
Man. Yeah,
barking at the local dogs.
Jeez. Oh, whew.
All right, Hunter.
Yeah.
You were talking about, let's talk a little bit. I got to go down the hall and get ready for some Yetis baseball today. But you guys get started a little bit, little quick segment here about some NFL draft news and notes. And then we're going to talk some NBA and college basketball to finish up today and some NASCAR here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, I do have just one little thing that I figured that a lot of people probably enjoy. Local listeners, obviously we know a lot of kids out of the Lincoln County area and some around this area will be going into the NFL draft, and some of them will be picked. They will not go undrafted. Just a little tidbit I found. I was talking about it in the break. Chaz Surratt, what was Brandon Marshall, the ex-NFL player, put on an HOA combine. I guess it's his brand, Home of Athletes. Put on a combine this week for some of the guys to come down to Florida and do it. Chaz was there. He did 27 reps of 225. That's pretty dang good.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, 40-yard dash. They had him at first at 4.7, but I read somewhere else it's really in the 4.6 area that they had miscalculated this. So good for him. I don't know who else was there, though, from the area. Chaz is the only name I've seen. I don't know if Sage was down there. I don't know if Caleb is down there. They might be doing their own thing. Everybody has to go through their own process, obviously, for draft day. But I'm excited. I don't know about you guys if you're as excited as I am. I love this time of year for draft time. It's because for your teams, if they've been struggling, this is the opportunity for you to see a little bit of light and say, okay, well, maybe they can, if they hit this right, we might be a game or two better than we were last year. Obviously, Cleveland made the playoffs. Washington, I know we got in, but we also had a losing record. I would like to see that improve, and Dallas could improve too. So I think all of us, even Kevin with them rooting for the Browns now, we're all looking forward to how they do in the draft.
I've got about 37 million reasons why Dallas won't be any good next year. That's because they're going to write Dak Prescott that check after they franchise tag him.
Well, I hope not.
They are?
I mean, I know. To me, that's the only way I would go. As a Cowboy fan, I would do it one more year because I don't know who he is.
$7 million.
Terry,
it's a one-time thing.
Terry,
man.
for the draft, if
I don't have to keep him. You know?
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but best thing y'all could do is probably draft Caleb Farley or Surtain out of Alabama. Bolster your defensive.
Oh, yeah, that's
bolster
what
your
we
DBs.
should be. My question for Washington, and I saw where y'all let Alex Smith go now.
Saves us $15 million, so now we're up to $50 million in the cap.
But now who's your quarterbacks?
Well,
Heineke? Is that the only one?
Heineke.
I have heard.
Heineke, like Heineken.
Yeah.
Right? Heineke.
I have heard, now that the Jets have publicly come out and said they'll take calls on Sam Darnold, that Washington might call and see what they can acquire for Sam Darnold. He is only like 20. Seriously, I remember someone said his age. He's 23. He's 23 years old and is about
And they're
to be
giving,
available.
and Heineke signed for backup money.
He signed 2 years, $8 million.
Yeah,
Here's the
that's
thing.
backup money.
If we want to roll with him for this season, because maybe there's a veteran hitting the free agent market, like if Dak doesn't want to try and work with Dallas anymore on a long-term contract, he signs that free agent franchise tag and just says next year, I'm going to see what's available. We could do something like that. But I just know, looking at the draft class this year for quarterbacks, if we wanted to draft a quarterback, this would be the year we need to move up and get one, because next year, the draft class is nothing as close as it is to having this year, where you could have 4 going in the top 5. Like, think about that. You could have 4 going in the top 5, and maybe 5 in the top 5, depending on who moves up, because they don't want to miss out on a quarterback. So, I know what you're saying. I don't know who our quarterback is either. I'm glad Alex Smith was there and did what he needed to do. If he doesn't go through his gruesome, horrific leg injury, I think we're in great shape.
Well, I know when they showed the records, I mean, it was like way above 500 when he quarterbacked.
He was 5-1.
Yeah, and way, way below when he did not.
That's the rest of our losses, except for 2.
Yeah. You hate to say game management, it means a lot.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I understood why Washington really was nervous about even bringing him back. He came out in that GQ article and was complaining about how Washington basically told him we didn't want him back. They didn't want to play him. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, dude, don't think 31 other teams probably weren't thinking that same thing after they found out you went through 17 and 18 surgeries on one leg. Like, let's not act like there was just a rainbow everywhere after you walked back on the field.
And really, he's had such a beautiful life. He's got all those beautiful children, wife. I mean, he's really got a great life. And he could have walked away and just enjoyed the rest of his life.
And so to me, when I look at that, I'm like, look, like, don't take it like just personally. This, at the end of the day, and I talk about it all the time, I always look at from the organizational standpoint, it's a business. This is a business. Yeah. What would have happened if you would have gone out there week 1 and had your leg snapped again, and there was no contingency plan?
But, I mean, I think on the bottom line, he did this for himself.
He did.
Just to prove that I could do it one more year, then I could be done.
For a moral victory for him, congratulations.
Yes.
You did it. Hell of a year. Organizationally, I don't know how many of those coaches could have slept at night knowing if they put him out there and his leg got broken again.
Oh, I guarantee
or something crazy would have happened.
Everyone who stuck him out there at the very start was thinking that.
Exactly, and that's why they started Dwayne at the beginning of the year, just to see if Dwayne was going to be the guy so that they wouldn't have to necessarily put Alex Smith in harm's way. The week that they played the Rams, when Aaron Donald jumped on the back and basically piggybacked Alex Smith. You don't think when they're watching in film, their hearts didn't just drop, or when they're watching that happen, their hearts didn't just drop?
What is wrong with that guy, man? What's wrong with
I don't know. It's just one of those things where
if he put him back out, he'd have been all.
I know. He came out in that GQ and was just so upset, but I want, like, what was he thinking? That 31 other teams would have just been like open-armed embraced if they would have let him go right then and there.
And it's not like in the 60s and 70s when Joe Namath had all those injuries, which you can watch like the other guys, like when they sacked him, they just kind of put him on the ground. They don't do that anymore.
Not anymore.
No.
No,
but
they're making that money.
No.
But as far as Dallas and Dak maybe coming to y'all, and it wouldn't bother me one bit. I'm honest, and I hate it because I like Dak. I just think I think the whole agency of quarterbacks is way out of hand. And I keep going back to this, and I say this every week. When it's Tom Brady doing it for $25 million, no quarterback in the NFL is better than him. None across the board. There'll never be none in the near future. So I do not want him. Mahomes is not even in his class. So I'm gonna put it like that.
Terry.
No,
you need
Mahomes
no.
even in his class.
Let me tell you, you need to preface that differently. Tom Brady is the greatest of all time. I think we can sit here and say that's undisputed. But as of right now, just like I'm talking like just arm talent wise and what they can do, there's still Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. Do I think that every quarterback needs to be looking for their money, that kind of money? No, not at all, because they're not them. And so what Tom Brady does, you gotta commend it.
I give the guy a lot of
You gotta
credit.
commend it. Like,
it's
hard for somebody to say, I'm going to take a pay cut in anything.
Yeah.
And usually when people move around, they don't look for pay cuts.
Roethlisberger just took one. He's only making $14
He just took a pay cut, but
$14 million guaranteed.
It's for 1 year. So if he don't get it done,
yeah.
I mean, then what good was it, you know?
And I would say he's not going to end his career on a loss to the Browns. That's why he took his
he
pay cut.
took his $5 million a year cut.
No.
15 total.
He was supposed to make $41 million.
He's supposed to. Yes.
And now he signed for 14. I think there's some incentives.
It went down from 20-something that he originally planted. But that's beside the point.
Yeah.
The point is, when it comes to the draft, a lot of these teams that had question marks around a certain position, the quarterback, they might not be in need of it anymore. Or they might take one. If you're Pittsburgh, would you still not draft one second, third, fourth round?
Oh,
sure,
absolutely.
you take it. Sure, you told Ben, we'll let you come back, but my God, we should have started planning for you to walk out 2 or 3 years ago, and we just haven't. Mason Rudolph's not the guy.
Any team, like if you can bring Jameis Winston back, and you know he's a free agent with I don't think he's re-signed with the Saints, so his name's been floated around out there. Yet. So if you could bring him in this year, cheap, say okay, all right, we're going to give you one, and then see what you can do, and then let him take over next year. I think that could be a decent plan for a team if he's able to get back to a high level.
I'm not trying to just force Ben out. Granted, I don't think Ben really is going to guarantee them a Super Bowl because, hey, I don't think he's even made a conference championship in Pittsburgh in almost 10 years.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. And see, I could say the same thing about Drew. It's been a while since he's made a conference championship.
Yeah.
And they both, Roethlisberger has his 2 Super Bowls. Drew has his 1 Super Bowl. And then people bring up Aaron Rodgers, but I at least can say he's made the conference championship the past 2 years. Just something has to get him over the hump, all right? He's wasn't it. He's 1 game away. There's a difference between you making the conference championship and you getting a first-round exit almost every year with teams as good as they do.
Wasn't that the championship game where the pass interference penalty that didn't get called? Wasn't that the championship game against the Rams? Just a couple years ago, Hunter?
No, I think that was a second-round game.
Round
I think
game?
it was a second-round game.
Okay. I thought that might have been
I know what you're talking about, but I think it was the second-round game. But the point is, I'm just saying, you know, eventually these teams have got to start putting in the back of their mind that, okay, even if we don't move off of Ben or we don't move off of Drew, what if Drew told New Orleans and say they didn't have Jameis or Taysom Hill in the waiting? Drew told them, tomorrow I'm retiring. Well, they weren't prepared for that. They didn't plan this out. They didn't have 2 or 3 years to think about this. And so I'm thinking of that for Pittsburgh right now. Yes, Roethlisberger wants to come back. Well, what if he has a less than lackluster year next year? Sure, you might win 10 games because organizationally you're just a good team. Well, who are you going to replace him with if you don't want to bring him back? Who? You signed Dwayne from Washington when they released him to the practice squad. But you got to. That's a project.
There's no guarantee he'll even make.
Yeah, exactly. That's a project. So, to me, I look at these organizations, and a lot of them, they find themselves in quarterback situations where they don't really know what they're doing because they never plan to just get another quarterback within 2 to 3 years.
Right.
Like, think about it. Indianapolis fell into a perfect spot. They had the 1-year gap where Peyton couldn't play because of that neck surgery. But they wanted to move off of him because he was starting to get a little long in the tooth. Luckily enough, they had the first pick the next year, and they took Andrew Luck, and that set him up for another few years of success. And then they got lucky when Andrew Luck retired. Jacoby Brissett was meh. They went like 7-9. And then Phillip Rivers came to town. And look at the Colts again. They're lucky. Phillip Rivers retires, and they're able to make a trade go with Carson Wentz and the Eagles. But what if that didn't happen? What was their plan? Who would they have gone to? If you don't at least draft somebody and put them in waiting,
so far
it's
down
like,
in the draft, they would have got nobody.
It's just tough. You got to hit on some 3rd or 4th round
trade
picks
up or something.
It is.
Well,
tough.
I mean, that's like Russell's coming out now, and he's named 4 teams. He could go to Chicago and be a star right off the bat.
He'd be the best quarterback they ever had in their franchise
He could
history.
go to the Saints, and you still got Breeze, so that's not going to work. So that might as well mark him off. He can go to Dallas if Dak leaves and be a star. Or he could go to the Raiders. Those are the 4 teams. And then, the Raiders still have Carr. Could he compete with Carr? Yes, he could. But
talking about Russell Wilson?
Yes.
Compete with Carr?
Yeah,
he would supplant
beat
Carr.
There you go.
Well,
I'm agreeing.
Well,
but you know what I'm saying? But Carr has been a starter.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure if Las Vegas made that trade, they would package Carr to Seattle.
And
I think Seattle would listen to that because Derek Carr's not bad.
Well, Hunter, you keep up with it. What is Russell Wilson wanting? Now, all I heard was he has a vision for the Seahawks that maybe isn't the management vision for the Seahawks.
I've heard it's Pete Carroll. Everything I've heard is him and Pete Carroll just do not see eye to eye.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
right.
on what?
I guess on the offensive philosophy.
Okay.
And if that's the case, I mean, I knew this was going to be a problem when Russell Wilson went public and essentially called out the O-line saying he's tired of getting hit.
Yeah.
I knew that was going to be a problem.
He does run a lot.
Yeah. He does run a lot.
Yeah.
He does. A lot of it's on him. Like, you have to almost look at that as a 50-50 relationship. The line's going to let you down some. Sometimes it might be your fault. So you got to look at it that way. But I don't know. The problem is maybe he just doesn't want to be in Seattle anymore.
Well, Seattle's a great town. It seems like they love him. They got a great facility.
They've
had success.
The only person, obviously, that knows is Russell. But a lot of insiders, a lot of people that are close to Russell, they do say he butts heads with Pete. And he's been butting heads with Pete for years. I can't remember who it was that came on Colin's show this week and talked about it. He pointed out, I think it was TJ Hushmanzada. And I know. What a name. But he said he's not surprised that Seattle is now taking calls for Russell Wilson because this is what Pete Carroll does whenever a player gets loud. Yeah. Did it with Richard Sherman. He did it with the safety that they let move.
I know.
Thomas, Earl Thomas.
Yeah, Earl Thomas.
They started talking. They were butting heads kind of with management, and he was like, "Hey." And the way he put it, he said, Pete almost has it's a my way or the highway mentality.
Maybe Marshawn Lynch, too.
Maybe. I mean, it's just one of those things. They started talking a little bit too much. It had some different opinions on the organization.
If you have an elite quarterback and you let him go, it is very hard to replace an elite quarterback. Just want to make sure that out there that if you let him go, what you get in return, I think that's what Houston is struggling with Watson, even though he does not want to be there.
Yeah, but there's a difference.
Once you let him go.
There's a difference with Watson right now. Well, really, there's not, because let's say that the roles are reversed and Russell Wilson is the one that's saying, I don't want to be here in Seattle. I'm never going to put this uniform on. I think that the front office and the management would at least be able to recognize what I think Houston is not recognizing. And it's the fact that right now there could be a bidding war for Russell Wilson like there is Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson's put out the teams he wants to go to. Cool. And so far, if you listen and watch, they've started to move pieces as if they would make a run. Like the Jets don't just come out and say you can make calls on Sam Darnold unless they're either one, drafting Zach Wilson, or at two, where they're going to make a run at Deshaun Watson. Same thing goes with Miami. A lot of people saying that they're done with Tua, what might want to make a run at Deshaun. And Carolina, if you watched every move that Carolina has made subtly, they're freeing up cap space. Why? So they can bring in a big contract quarterback.
They keep thinking they want to move up. And they can get Justin Fields.
It's just one of those things where you look at it and say, I don't think the organization realizes what Matt Stafford just went for. And you've got a quarterback in Seattle and in Houston that some could argue is better than Matt Stafford.
But if you ask me, the Matt Stafford deal is an outlier, not the norm. And that's what I would tell anybody negotiating. That's an outlier. They gave too much for him, Hunter.
Well,
they gave too much for him.
Tom, but just think about it. The organization at the same time has these guys under contract for another 2 or 3 years. If they really wanted to, they could just say, well, we just aren't going to trade him, guys, unless you meet this standard. The difference is Houston and Seattle, they have an opportunity right now for what Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles didn't have. Nobody was bidding against Indianapolis for Carson Wentz. They just wanted to get him out, and so that's why the day or two after, the Eagles front office was like, we got shafted in that deal. Sorry, you took the deal. Nobody forced you to do it.
Second round pick?
Yeah, it was like a second that could be potentially a first and a third round pick.
Yeah, it's like they didn't get. But that's what I thought you should have gave for Stafford.
And I'm looking at the Deshaun Watson, and let's just say those 4 teams do inquire about Russell Wilson. You got a 4-team bid off for Russell Wilson. Yeah. You just look at them and say, "What are you wanting to give us?"
It's kind of. But they're going to want something back. I mean, that's just me.
Right. And that's what I don't like.
And
if
they're so
Houston,
far down in the draft that they can get a quarterback that they're going to take. If you got one, I'll take him.
And think about it. If you're Houston, what are you gaining right now for just letting Deshaun Watson sit there and not play the season? Yeah, you're going to have an even worse season than you were planning to have, and no compensation for what you could get him right now.
Somebody said the rumors are there are some teams that would trade their entire draft for Deshaun Watson. The entire draft.
God, come on.
Said the entire draft. Remember when
if you're a quarterback away, though, would you
remember that?
If you're a quarterback away, though, would you not?
It might, like if you had traded away the entire draft, okay, that
Houston has gave up so much. You go to Hopkins, now you got Watson, now you want Watson. I mean, you just start naming players that they don't have. This team is not any good, and they're not going to be good for a while.
But I'm saying that would be the start for Houston to give back. If a team approached you and said, "I'll give you every pick in this draft,"
what are you looking at?
For
5
Deshaun
to
Watson,
7 years?
Yeah,
not necessarily. What do the Dolphins need else besides maybe an extra wide receiver that they can't go get in free agency if they wouldn't just be like, we'll give you as a matter of fact, Tua and every pick we have in this year's draft. They're a playoff team.
Wow. That'd be a lot. That'd be a lot to give
And
up.
if you're Houston, how do you say no? Because you already know that your team's in the crapper anyways. This is your opportunity to get better.
And he doesn't want to play for you.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I mean,
and it's not like you don't have a quarterback going in the next season. You just get to see if Tua works for you.
I'm not sure if Tua's going to be healthy enough to hold up.
And if not, you got the 3rd pick and a 2nd pick in the 1st round. Miami or the Jets could do that.
Yeah,
Miami is in a better position to do that than the Jets.
I would not want to be Tua.
The Jets have so much cap space. They have huge amount of cap space.
I would not want to be Tua. I mean, he's had one opportunity to prove himself, and all of a sudden now everybody's saying he's no good. We don't need him.
Well, if I wanted to answer this,
injuries.
If I wanted to answer you,
I understand that.
I'll just answer you truthfully. I would want to be Tua because I'm getting a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, we got to go to a break, guys. But when we come back, we will have more sports to talk about. That was our little NFL draft segment. And we look forward to coming back and talking about All-Stars and maybe Monstars. We'll be back after this break on KTCBroadcasting.com.
When is being different a good thing? Well, at Friendship Jeep Dodge Ram in Forest City, our customers say we're different. Look at our Google reviews. They say we're different too. We have the region's only non-commissioned sales force. We use no haggle, clear choice pricing, and we have the only lifetime warranty with no time or mileage limits. When our customers leave, they say, that was a great experience. And that's where we're most different. That's Friendship Jeep Dodge Ram, and we're located in Forest City.
You're listening to the Wolfman Jack.
I tell you, when I was a little kid, I was brought up listening to Alan Freed.
Wolfman Jack.
When I was just getting started, the hip thing was to say, "What's happening, Jack?" "Hey, Jack, what's going on?" So that was the hip slang, So being a horror classic freak like I am, I chose the Wolfman because it was a very animal-sounding name, and the name Jack because of the hip slang. What's happening, Jack? Because Jack always knew what was happening. You understand what I mean? Wolfman Jack.
Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday mornings, 10 a.m. to 12 noon on The Balls. WHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, and online at kdcbroadcasting.com. It's a destination place. It's the new Sammy's Restaurant and Pub of Dallas. It's time to go. 6-ounce filet mignons, $21.99. 8-ounce filet mignon, $26.99. And big 14-ounce ribeyes are $21.99. Plus chicken wings all day, every day. And every Tuesday is Taco Tuesday with classic margaritas for $5. Corona or Corona Light, $3. Patron Silver is $7. And enjoy Sammy's brunch each and every Sunday. Sammy's Restaurant and Pub of Dallas, 130 West Trade Street in Dallas. Call 704-215-7461. Like them on Facebook, too. It's time to go picking. No, not that kind of picking. I mean picking at Gaston Pickers in Gastonia. Gaston Pickers has now reopened, and they are now open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. till 6 p.m., Sunday afternoons from 1 till 5. Come check it all out. 28,000 square feet of vendors with antiques, collectibles, furniture, and more. And vendor space is available by calling 704-852-7055. Check out some of their booths at whatsupshopper.com and online at gastonpickers.net. Like them on Facebook, too. Gaston Pickers, 503 Long Avenue in Gastonia, or exit 19 off I-85. It's been a tough year, especially for our students and faculty at all of our local area schools. The City of Cherryville would like to take this time and salute all of our school heroes, from Cherryville Mayor H.L. Bean, Council members Jill Pewitt, Malcolm Parker, Gary Freeman, and John Abernathy, and City Manager Jeff Cash. You are appreciated, and we salute you for the job you do. This message from everyone at the City of Cherryville. It's time to get cozy with a stop at McGinnis Furniture in downtown Cherryville. They've got something for every room of your home, like inviting dining rooms, plush living room groups, relaxing bedrooms, mattresses, and more. Check out their home accessories, including stylish pillow throws, wall art, and more. And home office furniture, including functional desks, chairs, bookcases, too. Plus, locally owned and operated for 3 generations. That's McGinnis Furniture, 303 East Main Street in downtown Cherryville. Open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 on Saturday. Visit the website at McGinnisFurniture.com.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the gang.
And we're back.
I say Kevin, but right now he's getting ready for something.
Yeah,
it's really just
so it's
Hunter in the gang.
It's the you can say everybody's name.
Honey
Hunter,
and his crew. It's Hunter and his
Tom,
crew.
and Terry. I want to give them credit too. But speaking of, I really want Tom to have his moment right now. Tom's corner.
Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram on 190 Oak Street Extension in Forest City, North Carolina, 828-919-3001. Friendship Nissan, 156 Oak Street Extension in Forest City, North Carolina, 828-245-1661. Take your tax return to Friendship. Get yourself a new ride. Time to upgrade to 2021. Terry?
Well, I was just going to go over, since we're coming into college basketball. The women's ACC tournament is going on over in Greensboro.
I bet it is.
Yeah, it's a big push.
Something over there, yeah.
Yeah, number 1 Louisville in the conference against Syracuse today, and number 2 North Carolina State against number 3 Georgia Tech is the Final Four in their bracket.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, Carolina got beat. Yep, that's good. Duke got beat.
Okay.
Yep, that's good. Okay, everything's good.
Okay, well, there you go. And that was Terry's corner. Actually, I should start calling you panels because you're not quite on a corner. That was Terry's panel. And now we'll get into college basketball and NBA. We'll fuse them together somehow in this, but we'll start with the lower one, college basketball. ACC schedule is coming down to a close, and not only that, but I want to look at Tom and say, Tom, when are the Big Ten going to stop beating up on each other?
Well, that's the problem, and I think Ohio State greatly outstripped their expectations, but now they've lost 3 in a row as it's gotten tough. They've lost to Iowa. They've lost to Michigan State, who's playing better. They've lost to Michigan. They've had some good teams, but the Big Ten's a tough league, and Ohio State has another game this weekend against Illinois. They'll try to get back on track, but they started talking, oh, you're a number 1 seed. You're this, they're that. And then all eyes are on you, and it gets tougher.
Right.
And I think – especially how they played some good defensive teams and they struggled offensively.
I was so close to giving Michigan the nod, saying, really, I think Michigan might be the best team in the country. And then Illinois had to come to town.
Yeah.
And Illinois, I'm looking at Illinois and I'm thinking, they got size and they got athletes all over the floor.
Yeah.
They're a good team. They're a dang good team. Apparently, really isn't hard to do this year, Terry, but I'm glad you threw that tidbit in there. They did beat Duke.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a tough league, and I think, Ohio State, they were talking, now there might be a 3 and 2 or 3 or even a 4 after if they lose again, 4 straight backing in, and then if they have an early exit in the tournament. They're picking a bad time of the year to struggle.
The only question I have before Terry is,
go ahead.
Do you think Illinois or Michigan gets the 1 seed for a Big Ten team in the tournament?
Depends on what Illinois does today against Ohio State. I think it's today they play Ohio State. I have to double check. But depends on what they do.
Because what are the two so far? I think Gonzaga is going to get the number 1 overall.
There's no doubt.
There's no doubt. And I really don't know how much faith I put in Gonzaga. It's only because I know they're a good basketball squad. I'm not going to take anything against them, but they don't play nearly this level of competition during the regular season. Like we're talking about here, the Big Ten just keeps beating up on each other. The Big 12 beats up on each other. Texas beats up on Oklahoma. Oklahoma State beats up on Oklahoma and Baylor.
They did beat Virginia by 30.
Now, they did, but I look at Virginia, and I don't even think Virginia is that strong. I don't.
16-6.
I don't. I just don't. It's one of those weird years where I think the ACC is really down.
Are they?
Yes, Terry.
Okay.
I know you're a conference man.
You're dedicated to your
and
conference.
You're dedicated to your conference. And I'm just looking at teams overall. The only one I think that really has a good balance of competitiveness on the offensive and defensive side is Florida State. Other than that, I can see flaws in every other team.
I can see Florida State. I'll give them a bump up for you. I will do that. But when you speak of the ACC, and I have a hard time understanding who they saying's in, who they saying is out. Then they go by this net rating or whatever they go by. But I went back, and this is how the ACC stacks up. If I'm going to name you the top 5 teams in the ACC, and y'all tell me whether I'm yes or no. FSU, 15-4, 3-0 against top 25 teams. Virginia Tech, 15-5, 3-1 against top 25 teams. Georgia Tech, 14-8, 4-3 against top 25 teams. Clemson, 15-6, 2-2 against top 25 teams. North Carolina State, 13-9, 2-2 against top 25 teams. And then I put these teams that are on a bubble, but some of them will get in. Virginia, 16-6, top 25 teams, 1-3. Louisville, 13-5, hadn't played many games. Top 25.
I don't even think Louisville should be in consideration because they had
top
that basically
25,
the whole month.
They're 1-2. UNC, 15-9. They're 1-3 against top 25 teams.
Yeah, they did beat Florida State.
Syracuse, 15-8. They're 1-2 against top 25.
Well, I think Syracuse with that win with North Carolina, I think they punched their way in, like maybe a 13 seed or something.
Duke, 11-10, 1-3 against top 25. And then if you want to put Pittsburgh in on it, they're 10-10 because I think they're looking at Indiana about getting in on it. Indiana's 11-11 or 11-10, something like that. But they do play in the Big Ten, and I know they're going to give them credit for playing in that conference. But today is a big day. State season is done because Virginia Tech could not play. That stopped Syracuse from playing them and State from playing them. So it's come to one of them years. The less games I play or against decent teams in the ACC, I'm going to drop out. I'm going to say I got COVID where I do not have to play them.
Listen, that's
it's a convenient excuse.
Yeah, it's convenience. Michigan did it in football, so
they didn't have to play Ohio State and get rolled 60-0. So
there you go. But basketball wise, we don't talk about.
But today we will have a game that everybody claims is the greatest in college basketball, Duke against Carolina. Who's it best for? I guess for Duke, it's like do or die here because if you lose, you go to 11-11.
I want you to think about this. This probably has the most riding on it for who makes the tournament or not than in past years. It's only been about the rivalry itself. Duke fans, North Carolina fans, the record, the points that you're so close against. For at least the records, if I'm not mistaken, only go back to the past 100-and-something games that they've played, though, because the record is still North Carolina a lot to Duke's a little. But I think they didn't start keeping up with that until Coach K took over, and then they really started looking at that rivalry. But I agree with you, Terry, that this is do or die for Duke.
For Duke.
And to me, though, it's do or die on that 10 seed for North Carolina. Now, if you
you're
lose,
still in.
Now, I mean, yeah, you're still in, but am I going to feel just as good? First of all, I really don't feel good that they're a 10 seed anyways, Carolina fan. I mean, usually, Carolina fans, Duke fans, the Blue Bloods, we're used to being at least the top 4 or 5 seed, if not competing for the 1 or 2 seed usually.
Well, I think your problem is you defeat FSU.
They were positioned to get a 2 seed
and then
if they would have won.
Lose to Syracuse.
Oh, 100%.
This
is the most inconsistent offensive team I've ever seen North Carolina have, and that goes back to the 2010 team that went to the NIT. And they were almost on pace this year to be their worst 3-point shooting team compared to last year's team that holds the record for being the worst 3-point shooting
shooting the threes a decent amount better in the last
I'd
say 10 games.
Kevin came through and said, obviously, free Matt Doherty. I'm not going to go that far. But I've been one that has said in the past few weeks, and obviously since watching Carolina from last year to this year, I hate to say it, I think Dean Smith ball is dead. I think that style of play in today's basketball, at least today's college basketball, and going into the NBA, that's why they don't produce as many stars as they used to. It just doesn't work.
Let me shoot him down real quick. All right.
Don't shoot it down because you can say whatever you want. If there's a team that shoots threes, it outshoots them every time.
Well, here's why. It's the recruiting. It's not the offense. The offense, all right, it's originally designed to get a layup.
Right.
On made baskets, missed baskets. Get it down the court, get a layup, get it into the post. Tyler Hansbrough, Anton Jameson cut into the lanes. They lived off that. If that shot's not open, the next 3 passes are 3-point shots. Kick it to the corner, kick it to the wing, kick it to the top of the key, or swing it to the other side. So they have it in there. Shimon Williams didn't have problems. Donald Williams, Dante Calabria, Joe Forte. Some of these guys could shoot. Here's my issue with the Roys and their recruiting, Hunter. Bill Guthridge, Roy Williams, and Matt Doherty coached and recruited 0 NBA All-Stars at North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
0. Not a 1. Roy Williams has not had one single NBA All-Star at North Carolina. Not a single one of those guys that has had a NBA player average 20 points in the NBA. The last NBA player to make the All-Star team was 2008, Anton Jameson. He retired 7-8 years ago. The last one to average 20 points was Anton Jameson in 2010. So that's over 11 years. That's 11 years of Tar Heels not having NBA studs. Now, Hunter, you're kind of saying that maybe they don't want to play in the offense. I guess kind of what you're leaning to on that.
Yeah, when you look at all of the high recruits, and North Carolina gets some of them, but the guys that end up going on to be NBA pros and all-stars that we talk about, they're the guys that have shot creation and create their own shots, and they kind of play fluidly through a free-form offense where it's kind of centric through them, and they're able to put their talents on. And I think the Carolina offense
by NC State for Dennis Smith.
Well, you're right.
And Zion Williamson at Duke,
possibly. And John Wall could have went to North Carolina, but Roy Williams at the time was not recruiting one and dones. So to me, just with Dean Smith's offense, like
Dean Smith, anybody going to guess how many All-Stars he had?
Probably 20,
14.
Okay, that was close. I overshot it. But I'm just saying, it's not as attractive as some of these other offenses are, where you get to come in and be the guy. And I get that. And don't get me wrong, I like a team aspect, and I like guys that are going to stay 3 to 4 years because it's better for the program. But if it's a turnoff in today's game where the teams are dominated by one-and-dones, at least for wins, and like Kevin said, you're producing NBA All-Stars at that, and other guys look around, like when they go to Duke, they look and say, dang, Zion played there? oh my God, R.J. Barrett played there. They got drafted in the top 5. Like, it's attractive, and you start getting the recruits. To me, the Dean Smith offense, to me, is just, Roy is so set in his ways, it's just not coming out of it unless somebody else from the outside comes in and does it. Like we've talked about, maybe Kenny Smith would come out of the booth and coach, or Hubert Davis takes over. But even then, Hubert's running that offense with him. Maybe he sticks with it. I don't know. Some people might think it's crazy, but to me, I look at today's basketball, and if you're not one of the better 3-and-D teams, and you're one of those teams that just consistently tries to feed it down low to your big men, first of all, you got to have good big men, and Carolina don't this year. But I'm just saying, the 3-point shot has changed the game.
You got Player of the Year in Brooks. That's what he was supposed to be.
Whoa. That was preseason.
Well, I'm just telling you,
how many times did we debunk preseason
from that?
Predictions?
Yeah, I'm just telling you. See, this is where I look at it. Now, I know at the start of the year I told people, I said State's freshmen are good. But now they're starting to come around, and I'm proud of that because the last game State played, 3 freshmen led us in scoring. Sebron, Hayes, and Brown. And those guys who are going to take over because when Coach Keats went after players, he went after players who's going to be with him 2 or 3 years. And these guys have started to come around, and that's even after Devin Daniels. Now, we do miss him because he is a scorer and played defense for us, but State's freshmen have finally, hey, we're not freshmen anymore. We're part of this group, and I like that part of it. For State's future, State's going to be very strong next year. And, this is one of those years that if you are a senior, you can elect to come back for another senior year. So,
God, don't tell me that.
That's what I'm saying. So that's the possibility that you might see Braxton Beverly, who probably not going to make it in the NBA. I can go to the G League, or do I want to play at State where somebody sees my name? And I can, and Funda Burke's the same way. So if they decide to come back and you still got Bates, which will become a senior next year, State's going to be very strong.
Tom, does a Big Ten team have an opportunity of winning it this year? And if so, which one's your favorite?
You've got a ton.
Outside of, obviously, you being an Ohio State fan, which Big Ten team do you truly believe has the opportunity to win the Natty?
Me, as much as it pains me to say it, I'd say Michigan. I think you got a good argument out of
Think about it. That's what Juwan Howard's only second year there.
But look, they can shoot the 3. If you try to pack it down on Dickinson and the big guys, they're going to shoot the 3. So then if you try to man up, they're going to kill you on the board.
I'm just trying to find somebody that is not named Gonzaga and Baylor that we just hear about all year. They're the most dominant teams in college basketball. Yada, yada, yada.
Big Ten's got a ton in the top 25.
Michigan, Illinois. I think I'd like to say Ohio State they've played well. They've overachieved. Like Liddell's gotten a lot better this year. They got I think the Seward kid came in. From,
so this is for both of you
from California.
Did you win your last game?
Didn't. Well, I lost the last 3.
So this is
for both
3.
From number 4.
I mean, what I'm trying to say is they've got some good players. I don't know if they have enough to. They've won a lot of games that maybe they've overachieved. I'm not saying they're a bad team, but they've really done a great job with that team and they've improved. But I don't know if they can get maybe past the second round.
Last question for both of you before I switch over to the NBA really fast for the All-Star game. Is there a team? So obviously we looked at the Big Ten. I don't consider anybody else in Gonzaga's conference a threat, and we've already talked about the ACC. Is there anybody in Baylor's Big 12 that has the opportunity of making a run, or is it just
you don't hear much? You don't hear too much.
Is it just Baylor's to lose? Yeah. You hear about them beating up on each other.
Yeah.
Texas getting beat by Oklahoma, Oklahoma beating Texas, Oklahoma State beating everybody.
Oklahoma State only has one problem.
God, Cade Cunningham is a beast.
Well, I'm going to tell you something about him that I do not like.
Why that surprised me?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. I mean, he's the guy they go to end the game. But he's also a guy who puts himself in situations at the end of the game that you're like, why didn't you dish it? Because he'll go in like 1-on-3.
He's selling his draft stock right now. That's what he's trying to do. I'm the first pick.
That, but I've seen him blow games for them on account of he's trying to do some acrobatic shot that's not going to happen, and him lose games for him.
Baylor's head and shoulders in the Big 12.
Yes.
I hope somebody puts him out. That man comes out like
Cunningham reminds me of the guy who's at Atlanta, the guard.
Trae Young?
Yeah, Trae Young. That's who he reminds me of. It's all about me. It's not about the guys around me.
All right, now let's switch over to the NBA. We got the NBA All-Star Game coming up. What's saddening is how low the dunk contest has fallen from where it once was. There are only 3 people competing in the dunk contest this year.
It's at halftime, is it not?
Is it at halftime?
Something's at halftime.
Listen, everything's happening in one night. So they're going to have the 3-point contest, which the 3-point contest is star-studded.
I agree.
Got Steph Curry in there. Damian Lillard, if I'm not mistaken, is in there. It's star-studded.
Well, that's all everybody does is shoot threes.
The dunk contest?
But that's
I don't know who any of them are.
I
don't know who any of these guys are that are dunking. If I'm not mistaken, I think one of them's from the G League that they're letting come up and dunk.
I think because it's just all the dunks have been done, so it's just hackneyed.
It's old now.
You know,
it is old now.
So I mean, it's just one of those things where it's just
I'll say this: they could take the dunk contest away, and I probably wouldn't be upset.
Nobody would.
I would be okay.
It was an 80s, 90s.
I like
thing.
their.
It's done. When they went from the free throw line, and we saw it, but now somebody does it for the free throw line. It's like no big deal.
I like their skills contest.
Skills contest should be pretty exciting as well.
I
look forward to that.
All right, so the biggest thing on the dunk, I think it's the judging and the format changes every year. So like in gymnastics, there's only so many things you can do, and they have them. They have that forever.
Right.
They'll have the same. The judges sit over and do their things, but they know going into it. So Hunter, you come in and say a gymnastics routine. If I do perfect on this routine, the highest I can get is like a 9.5. So I think the NBA, the dunk contest should be some type of, hey, I'm gonna do a reverse. I'm gonna try the Vince Carter reverse windmill. If I hit it, it's a 10. If I do it, you know what I mean, and judge it that way, as opposed to it. Not only that it changes every year, to whoever the judge is, one guy might give somebody a 10, one might give somebody a 5, and half the people. If you don't have anybody that's listen, it's one thing to have sideline reporters never played a game. But if you've never dunked a basketball,
right?
Why are you a judge in a dunk contest? Because you have no idea any bit.
Well, you know
what
else?
it takes.
You know
to
what
do
else
any
I
of that.
think that the dunk contest struggles from too? There's no more star power. My God, do you know how many people would have tuned in this year if they said Zion Williamson was taking part in the dunk contest? Think about it. Think about it.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been at halftime.
Exactly. It wouldn't have been at halftime. No, not at all. They might have opened up with it. I'm just saying there's no star power anymore because to the players, it really doesn't mean anything anymore like it used to. Like, think about it. You heard Vince Carter was going to take place. Even the years Nate Robinson was taking place, he was looking to get 3. I mean, that was it. Spud Webb. Like, had known names. And the fact that I'm sitting here and can't tell you a single person that is taking part in the slam dunk contest, and there's only 3, that's a problem. That is a problem.
I've always thought in the slam dunk contest, when you would have a Nate Robinson or a Spud Webb, I don't care who the other people are, this guy's below 6 foot, and he's slamming like a guy that's 6'7", 6'8", or 7 foot. You know, I don't even think there's contest there. If this guy can slam it, he's going to win.
Right. So, I don't know. If you had to pick a winner, just based off of the rosters that were picked, who would you take? Team LeBron or Team Durant? I don't know.
I haven't even looked at it.
You haven't even looked at it?
I'm just not interested in all-star games, period. The Pro Bowl is so bad. The NBA All-Star Game, they're all so bad. They have no entertainment.
And I will watch
There's no entertainment value.
Well, Tom, I'm trying to give them some sort of light. There ain't no other games happening because of the All-Star
you're right. That's
game.
how it is.
Yeah,
you're exactly. That's how it is.
They forced you to almost have to pay attention to because there's nothing else off.
It's the only thing on.
Look. The Pro Bowl didn't happen this year for the NFL. Did anybody care?
No.
Nobody cared.
Not a soul.
They could get rid of the All-Star Game.
Bettors cared.
Nobody would care. They could get rid of the Major League Baseball. They're doing this stuff because they always
it's
have.
It's all about money.
They're doing the dunk contest because they feel they have to.
Well, think about it.
It's just
they weren't going to be able to have fans at the Pro Bowl anyway, so they weren't going to be able to make any ticket revenue off of it. So why hold it?
Nobody goes to the game
anyway. Now they're
going
to have people in Atlanta for this game, and then and it's the same thing why they will have the NASCAR All-Star race still in the MLB All-Star game. Why we can't get rid of any of them is because it's an event that people will pay to go and see.
The NASCAR All-Star race is fun.
They're racing for $1 million.
That one is fun. That one's fun, Terry.
The one that's in July.
The All-Star
Not
race.
your Clash. Yeah.
The All-Star.
Yeah,
the
did
All-Star
Clash
race.
come out of our mouth, Terry? I don't know.
Yeah, the All-Star race.
Was it All-Star
That's
race?
one of the first races. That's one of the first races. One of the first races I ever went to was to Charlotte. Was the All-Star race at night? It's awesome.
I went one year. Casey Kane. I was pulling for him. He was running real good.
Right. I mean that's
I just
one of
hated
those.
us at Charlotte.
That's one of those things.
I don't know.
Okay.
That is just.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. And so we have been commanded to go to NASCAR now. I was going to take us to a break to go to NASCAR, but we're just going to have to go over to NASCAR now. Big race this weekend, gentlemen. It seems, well, first of all, Terry, we'll let you speak on the Kyle Busch debacle.
No, you go ahead and tell people what it was. And
go ahead and speak.
We'll go.
Fill me in. I missed this one. I've been working a lot of nights this week.
But Kevin wants to talk about it. He scrambled back.
First of all, Kyle let one of his teammates win a race that he owns a car over. He came in second, let a guy win. And then he also spun out on purpose, causing a caution. They asked him after the race, "Did you do that?" And he goes, "Nope." And he said, "Are you not going to answer the question?" "Nope." "So you're not even going to talk about it?" "Nope."
That's how he answers.
That's how he answered his questions last night, Tom.
He's a jerk.
There you Hunter, will you pull up the schedule and everything and go to NASCAR.com or something?
That's why you like him, Terry.
Quit whining, Tom. Quit
whining.
whining.
I'm not whining. He's just a jerk. If I call somebody a jerk, they're a jerk. I'm not
In
whining.
fact, remember last year, Tom, when he didn't win any races and they blamed the crew chief and all that stuff?
He's a jerk.
Terry, how many races has his former crew chief won this year?
Who cares?
One, and Kyle has none. Kyle's out of the top 50,
How many wins have Kyle got in this whole? Oh, never mind. Over 200.
Well, don't forget, we got to count his go-kart races back when he was in elementary school. Terry keeps up. Yeah.
All right, so we're at Las Vegas this weekend, gentlemen. I'm looking at this right now. Qualifying, he's got Kevin Harvick 1, William Byron 2, Kyle Larson at 3, Truex Jr. 4, Michael McDowell 5. McDowell seems to have been everywhere this year. Maybe he's got the right car. He's in a Mustang. Denny Hamlin sitting at 6. Kurt Busch at 7. Chase Elliott at 8. Alex Bowman at 9. Brad Keselowski at 10. Notable names throughout the rest of it. Kyle Busch at 14th. Austin Dillon in 12th. Trying to look for our man Custer here. He is sitting at 20th. In the 41 Ford.
He's raced pretty good.
He has raced. And then another name, this is their first year, obviously, and they're sitting in the 23 pole. Imagine that. Number 23, Bubba Wallace, first year racing for, what is it, 2311 Racing, whatever that thing's called. Yeah, so race last week, William Byron came out on top with the victory, and he's sitting here second now on the pole for qualifying. Gentlemen, Las Vegas, is it a half mile or is it a mile and a half?
Oh, God.
I can't remember.
I'm not going to say because they're trying to go away. I was noticing that they're trying to go away from a bunch of mile and a halves. That's the reason they've topped it out with a lot of road course races that only help
Terry, they want
about 4 or 5
races.
guys.
It's okay.
Yeah, it only helps 4 or 5 guys. But the rest of the other 25 or 30, the heck with y'all. We fixed this for these 5 guys. But anyway, and then we're going to go to Bristol. Now we're going to make it dirt where everybody's going to wreck each other up there.
Terry,
and Kyle Larson should win that race.
Okay.
You know, I'm going to be honest with you on that end. But, I mean, I'm just telling you how NASCAR's got. Don't get me. Are you making it different? Yes. Doing a dirt track up there, it's took them like 3 months to do the track here to get it ready, and then they got to wipe it all down and get rid of all that dirt. But, yeah, that's true. Because the next group is taking them back to the regular track.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know. I mean, NASCAR, I don't know. Some weeks, I guess, since Kyle Busch is not winning, that helps a lot, too, on my end. Because he has not drove well, and, you know, and I think it has a lot to do with the crew chief and what you're doing, and, you know, but I don't think Kyle Busch is still a good driver.
Yep. Xfinity races today, they got 43 cars in that race today. That's actually good to see. That is really good to see. Jesse, I hate to see you at 32, buddy, looking to see you move up the rankings there. That's where he'll be. Their qualifying is Matt Snyder at 1, Austin Cindric 2. I'll just do the top 5. Daniel Hemrick at 3, Brandon Jones at 4, and Jeb Burton at 5. we'll do a quick pick here, not on the Xfinity, on the NASCAR Cup Series race. Who do you see coming across the finish line today and taking the win at Las Vegas? We'll start with Tom.
Truex is up there in the top 5. I like him this week.
Terry.
I'm going with Kevin Harvick.
Now, I can't take Kevin Harvick because I was getting ready to. I could if I wanted to just be that way, but I want to keep it a little bit different. My girlfriend will hate me if I don't pick him because she's a big fan of him. I'll say Chase Elliott. He's sitting there to 9. She's a big Chase Elliott fan. JP, before we leave, you want to go over the schedule?
Sure.
Thank you.
I was going to when Kevin asked me, but he never got to me. He's like, well, I guess he just wants to.
He did ask you about the schedule, and he never got to you. So, JP, you give us the schedule before we go, and then we'll give Tom his little panel one more time before we get out of here.
All right. Today at 11:30 and at 4 o'clock, we have the Cleveland Community Yetis at Patrick Henry College. And then today also at 12:30, we have the Shelby Girls and State Championship.
Yep.
And Duke and North Carolina at 5 p.m. Tomorrow, we have the CCC Yetis at Patrick Henry again at 12 noon. And then the Pennzoil 400 at 2:30 p.m.
All right, Yetis on YouTube today. WOHS YouTube, type Cleveland County Yetis against Patrick Henry. Go to WOHS KTC Broadcast on YouTube. We're going first pitch is at 1 o'clock, doubleheader today. We'll be live about 12:30 out at the field. Tomorrow is a 12 noon start, actually. They had some changes on that schedule. A couple news and notes from some of the things you said. Now, guys, has Terry not complained that he wants a lot of people to win?
Mm-hmm.
Listening to the NASCAR thing this morning, I don't know if you were, Terry, or they were talking about how they could have anywhere from 10 to 13 winners get into the playoffs this year.
Yeah, but when you and this,
Tom.
Yeah, but that's all I'm talking. If Kyle Busch wins the race and automatically involved, then I've already thrown Michael McDowell behind me. He's not going to win it. And who won the second race? See, that's what's bad. We can't even remember.
Christopher
Bell, he's behind me too, because those are guys I'm going to beat.
So, well, maybe not.
It is a maybe.
Michael McDowell is kicking his butt every week right now, Terry. So
all I got to do is win one, and I've got all them behind me.
What's good for him is the qualifying. Here's what's good for those guys winning those races early, is that the qualifying is set by the last races in the points, and a lot of these going forward. So McDowell, instead of starting in 25th every week, he's in the top 10, top 15 starting. So that's going to keep him big time. It is. And then, did I hear Hunter just say his girlfriend made the last pick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I need to send all checks and ask all questions Monday to her?
You can if you want.
Is that where it's going anyway?
She would at least take him out to eat.
I was gonna pick Kevin Harvick, but Terry went that way, so I just went with her
so
favorite,
I cannot
Chase
go
Elliott.
With Terry.
No, Terry, I like to be different in case I am right, and then I can say, "Hi, you're wrong."
I'm different. All right, JP, we'll take us out of here, buddy. Thanks,
Let Tom have his moment.
Oh, he's got moments.
Don't forget Friendship. Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and Friendship Nissan sponsors our show. Thank you very much. Go see our friends in Forest City.
Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening today on YouTube.